Okay, and welcome. Please let me know if you hear me, and I'll try to do a little sound check myself. All right, so happy Wednesday, September 25th, 2024 to you. And I'm glad to see everyone here. If you're in the Lurker crew, please go ahead and join the chat. It's fun in the chat. Don't be awkward, a wallflower, or strange. Go ahead and join the chat and share the good times with the people in the chat. Amy, if you don't mind, if you're here tonight, please, every 5 minutes or so, post the support pathways like Buy Me a Coffee primarily and Cash App. But welcome to everyone. We have quite a show for you today. It's going to be long and it's going to be difficult. It's approximately 200 screenshots that we'll have to be looking through. We're going to discuss some realities today and some inconvenient truths, to put it another way. So welcome to you guys. I'm glad to see everyone. I'll greet those who are in the chat. So if you want to be greeted, go ahead and join the chat really quickly, and I will say hello to you, and then we'll get rolling. I want to give a special shout out today to Josh and Noe for the amazing footage they took over on Deer Creek. I released it today, the trip from Wilson Bridge to Riley Park, and I'll pin it here for you in case anyone wants to go watch that after this stream or on another day. There's a video. That's Noe and Josh with a really nice tour of the area. So there it is for you. Anyhow, that's for your perusal later. And in the meantime, I am going to say hello to everyone in here. Let's see. We got JoJo was first in line. What's up, JoJo? Happy to see you, JoJo. Happy to see you, Woman Doing. True Justice. Westy. Tracy Fleetwood. Lisa. Bobby Smith. It's a new day. Another YouTuber. Sunflower Soul 615. And Phoenix. How are you, Phoenix? Granny D. Nancy Drew 101. Gina Bodette. Digital. And Sandy D, welcome. Linda K. Johnson from New Zealand, welcome. Beautiful Amy with the flowers, there she is. The Royal We. Zero Cool. Hiawatha. Yes, I agree with that one. I'll put that on the screen for you. And the beautiful Sunflower Soul with some sun. All right, so you guys please hit up the Cash App. We need your support this month. It's been a rough month. Had some medical expenses. You don't even want to know what happened. But Dean Johnson, what's up? Noe Amos, what's up? Okay, and DB, what's up? Who else we got in here? Jamie, what's up, Jamie? Kayla, hey, what's up, Kayla? All right, Bobby Smith, what's up, Bobby Smith? Rebecca Ann, 1965, what's up? Hey, Gina, thanks for the good word. What's up, Mar R? Miss Jones now? All right, all of you, welcome in. And anyone else joining the stream, chat, please be hospitable and say hello to them. Yeah, I highly recommend any of you who haven't seen it, go watch the video I linked here. Noe and Josh do an amazing HD tour of the Deer Creek area between Wilson Bridge and High Bridge for the most part. And trust me, you don't want to miss it. We have some very, very, very strong thoughts about the places you will see in that video. So if you're at all interested in this case here and our opinions on the case, I highly recommend you go watch that video, familiarize yourself with the landscape, etc. The faces and places, beautiful spaces. All right, welcome into R&M Productions. And hey, so all of y'all, welcome in. Like I said, if anyone new comes in, please welcome them in. We have a very extensive production for you today. I really don't know how to say it. Okay, I really don't know how to say it other than the way that I titled it. It's the unacceptable. It literally is the unacceptable. So to get us into the, I guess to get us into the theme for tonight, I titled it "The Unacceptable: The Absolute Criminal and Inappropriate Behavior of the Representatives of the State of Indiana in Collusion with Various Podcasters and YouTubers in an Effort to Steer the Narrative Surrounding the Delphi Murders." That is, the fix is in, folks, and I mean it. Okay, I mean it. After tonight, you should be pretty well convinced that the representatives of the state of Indiana have colluded with various podcasters and YouTubers to steer the narrative surrounding the Delphi murders. And if you're not convinced after tonight, then you can never be convinced, because we are going to show you the nitty gritty, the undeniable of the unacceptable. And after tonight, I think everyone should go into viewing all of the circumstances surrounding this trial of Richard Allen with a fresh set of eyes. Okay, that's the goal, because you really need to know what has happened, and it has happened, and you will see that tonight. Now, what can we talk about? What can we talk about? We can talk about a little preface to this show. First of all, this show is not an attempt to attack anyone. Any of the names you will see tonight, it's not an attack on these names you will see tonight. It is a bold condemnation of the public servants whose names you will see tonight. Okay. In other words, yes, we are attacking those behind the badge and behind their titles, all the public service servants in the state of Indiana, who you will be observing tonight. This is certainly an attack on them, because they are the employees of the people, and therefore they are accountable to the people. And so what you will be seeing tonight, it is certainly an attack on the people who have behaved inappropriately and criminally and colluded to steer this narrative in the way they want it to go. But this is not an attack on the people who were duped, who were reaching for sources, for views, for street creds, and all the other sorts of things. So, let's get that shit straight from the jump. It's not about the people. It's about the state. And that's what we're going to be criticizing tonight. And so there's your preface. And this is a warning to all the troll farm and the gaslit ass creators out there. Go ahead, the gaslighting creators. Go ahead and dust your fingers off and get ready for those screenshots, because you're going to certainly be overheating the phones tonight with screenshots. So go ahead and get yourself ready for that if you're all methed out and looking to screenshot and start shit, because you'll have plenty of fuel for that. But otherwise, everyone else, please just sit back, enjoy the show, have your reading glasses on if you care to, and hey, have a drink or something. Enjoy yourself. So it's good to see you all. It's no convincing needed, but more receipts appreciated. You're going to have receipts tonight. What's up, Nobody Nothing 1717? Welcome in. T-Ree, welcome in. Long time no see. All right. And who else is here? Anyone else? Carol. What's up, Carol? All right. All right. So, they did it for the street cred. Yes. Some of them. All right. Yeah, get those fingers warmed up. Anyhow, don't fret. This will be a live stream, so there will be replays in case you missed the screenshots. You'll have plenty of opportunity to. And just a warning to you assholes out there. I'll just go ahead and throw this up. Okay. So tonight we will be exercising our rights under the Fair Use Act, fair use of a copyrighted work for the purposes such as criticism, commentary, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, or research is not an infringement of copyright. And tonight we are hitting all those categories. Okay, so get your heads right. So with that being said, welcome in, Laura. Long time no see. All right. We'll get this off the screen. You guys, chat is yours tonight. We'll have to catch you in a little bit because we're going to get started here. Tonight, we are starting off with text messages between Fig Solves and Skip Jansen. Okay, why, Prof? Why? Why would you do that? Well, it's not about Gary, is it? It's not about Skip. It's about employees of the state of Indiana. Okay, so we're going to start off here with discussing how appropriate it is that an employee of our clearly biased judge is communicating in the way that she is with our YouTuber here. Okay, so our YouTuber Gary says, documents, judge is releasing some next week, a considerable amount per my source. Is this info from Dippity Doo? Says our other YouTuber. No, person who works for Judge Gull. Oh, you don't say. You don't say. Well, who works for Judge Gull? Let's figure that one out. Okay. Also, my source says, whenever I say source, I'm talking about this person who works for Judge Gull. She has seen all the docs. She says Richard Allen is guilty as sin. She's 100% sure and wants harsh punishment to happen to him. She was saying how she hopes Judge Gull keeps him in Westville because that's where he belongs. Okay. So, female, works for Judge Gull, has seen all the documents, thinks he's guilty as sin, 100% sure, and wants the most harsh punishment to happen to him, therefore wants him locked in Westville, where surely he will be assaulted, coerced, and harassed on an ongoing basis and medicated. But we'll be getting to that. He continues, right, I understand. Well, that's what Baldwin press release says, and yeah, he should know. So keep this in mind and to yourself, please. You know my source, the one who works for the judge? They said the version of the PCA that was released is 2.0. The 1.0 was even more embarrassing for Ellie. Wow, Fig, I thought that law enforcement was perfect. Judging from the past year and a half, you would swear that your opinion is that law enforcement on the Delphi murders has actually been absolutely perfect. Um, okay, so we're getting there. I have a feeling that I'm losing track with myself here. All right, so what that does is um, that covers the female employee of Judge Gull who was working with one of our YouTubers. Now let's move on to the prosecutor of Carroll County himself. Still in conversation with Skip Jansen, his Fix Solves here. I will ask Nick. The docs that are going to be released will be some older docs and some newer docs. I hope my judge source will get access to the documents again. She said she would need approval from the judge to go in and look at the unredacted, and we need a good reason to. And I don't want to get her in trouble just for this name. And it's the most credible source they have. It's a great source. And you see here at the bottom, it's a little obscured, but please note that suddenly murder sheet is brought up. Yeah, someone they met from their burger chef. Okay. Big Solve's continuing. So I can email him telling him I have someone from the group who will talk to you. She agreed. I sent it. How you like that? Don't know. What have you done today to help the prosecution? I don't know. It's not my job necessarily to help the prosecution, especially when it appears that they have lied, they have misrepresented witness statements, and etc. In an attempt to railroad one particular individual because they don't want the whole meth gang to go down for these murders. But that's a whole other subject. Here's an interesting slide here. I mean, just in case there's any doubt. Just in case there's any doubt, okay? Nick is my best friend forever. Skip coming in with the sucker punch. You could tell your new buddy Nick to watch our upcoming show. He might learn a thing or two. Skip's out of control. I'm dead. All right. We'll leave that one. All right, because we're just trying to make it through this entire thing. Okay. Again, this here, as you see, it's it's getting deeper here. Now we're starting to have allegations that the source for some of the Burger Chef stuff is someone with the ISP. Someone with the ISP. So who's with the ISP that is feeding the Burger Chef couple? Who is it? So now we have an employee. Are you guys starting to see this add up here? We have an employee of Judge Gull. Okay. We have an employee of Judge Gull. Are we all in agreement here? Are we in agreement? We have the prosecutor Carroll County. Employee of the judge, prosecutor, and now we have someone with the Indiana State Police. Wow. So we have an ISP, a prosecutor, and an assistant to the judge. It's getting kind of deep. It's getting kind of deep. You see, at this time, Mr. Solve didn't understand that the relationship with Skip would be severed and that this would be damning. And again, this is not about Solve. This is about the employee of the judge, the prosecutor, and the ISP. That's who this is about. Let's be clear. Something big is going to happen in early September. Yeah, I would say, take a screenshot of this. Watch. What's going to happen? Well, before the 15th of September, where you were off for about a few days, something big in the case. Plea bargain? Oh, they've been trying to get that narrative pushed forever. That's my guess. I wasn't told what, but something big. Okay. Gary, I really appreciate this information. I would be interested in talking to the person from the group and getting more information and details about what is going on with the group. Sincerely, prosecutor. Sincerely, the prosecutor. Now, what group, you might ask? What group? Oh, don't worry. We'll discuss that right now. Would you guys like to know what group we're talking about? I'm sure you would. Let me read some names for you. These names are not pleasant to hear, so please don't be upset at me. Okay, we gotta go to downloads. Sorry, I didn't have this ready to put on the screen. I should have. So the group, this is the group, okay? It was a Discord group. I'll give you the screen names of those in the group. Fig Sauls, Rudy, Meerkat, Tom Webster, Shrek, Fiona, Bella, Baba Yaga, Chickpea, Mark Cohen, Alex Voorhees, Captain Howdy, Aspen Connor, Sleuth Intuition, possibly. That's your group being referenced here. It's a particular Discord. We'll be getting into that later. I mentioned earlier to the troll farm that the 1.7 pounds was the entire Discord. In case they were ever wondering, I know they thought it was about the troll farming on YouTube. No, that wasn't the subject matter of the 1.7 pounds. The 1.7 pounds consisted solely of these screenshots you're looking at and screenshots from the group I just read to you, and that is mentioned here in this email from our prosecutor. Okay, here's just a few inboxes. You see what it is. It is what it is. Okay. It is what it is. Here's another one from our prosecutor. Okay. Now, why are you doing this, Prof? Well, because we're going to actually show you that this is a something burger. Okay, because recently there's been some nothing burgers pushed about a particular investigator for the defense speaking with civilians, as he has a right to do, being a non-state employee. All right. So here's some little stuff that you may or may not be interested in, but let's read it. Unfortunately, I don't consider Fig a great source. He may not be, says Teach Me How to Duchess. Truthfully, I don't know enough about Fig to say whether or not he is reliable. I just find it interesting that some are saying that multiple people are involved and that it's coming out soon, while others are saying that this is definitely isn't the case and that Richard Allen is a lone wolf killer. Sounds like the narrative that's being pushed, doesn't it? What's the narrative that's being pushed? One side says what? Others are involved. Yeah, that would be us over here. We're talking about the Kokomo crew, the people out there at the trails in those 48 hours before and after the girls were allegedly dropped off. While others are saying this definitely isn't the case and that Richard Allen is a lone wolf killer. Yeah, that's all the people I just named from that Discord. Who also, coincidentally, I'm sure it's not related or connected in any way whatsoever, are your troll farm. Those who threaten to kill, dox, harass, etc. You'll be seeing some of that later in the show. That's true, says Few Preparation 2214. I'm hearing conflicting stories, and they all say they have sources. Yeah, but some sources are better than others. Well, here comes a little snarky every challenge 8916 and says they all had the same source. Oh, well, that's pretty deep. That's pretty deep. I got to give it to Few Preparation, Teach Me How to Duchess, and every challenge 8916. That's pretty deep right there. Oh, am I blocking with the... sorry, let me remove that momentarily so that you can see. I want you to be able to see that. There you go. They all had the same source. Okay? That's what we're talking about. So, we got something else here. Kevin Greenlee graduated from IU Law School and is a clerk for Bartholomew County, blah, blah, blah. Murder Sheet says, it's wild to see off-the-cuff speculation take root in real time. Kevin is definitely a licensed attorney in Indiana. You don't say. Here's a friendly suggestion for you. Check the Indiana roll of attorneys before getting on reddit.com and saying things that can be easily checked either way. Okay, snarky fish. Hello, chiming in here. Our sources close to the Delphi investigation tell us Tony Klein is the focus of the investigation. That fact informs our coverage of him. Our coverage, which has, according to people high up in law enforcement, generated actionable tips. Wait, you're speaking to law enforcement? Hold on. You're speaking to law enforcement? We get that people who've put a ton of time and energy into other POIs may not like our focus on Tony Klein. But the reason he is our focus is because he's the focus of law enforcement. Oh, how do you know? It's as simple as that. It's a credit to you as a follower of this case to want to wait until all this shakes out in court. Shimmy, shimmy, Cocoa Pop. But we feel that we are serving the interest of the public by reporting on the man who is at the center of the investigation. As for the possibility of the trial being moved, the Delphi case, as well as any violent man or predator targeting children in the area that happens to get linked to the case in online speculation, has received intense international media attention for years. Sounds a bit like you're blaming the show for letting the horse out of a barn that was left open and unwatched for 5 years, so to speak. You do realize that this woman here is coming straight out of the World Economic Forum, WEF. Just put that out there. Okay, so let's keep moving. Gary, I really appreciate the information. I would be interested in talking with a person. How you like that? Okay. June 6th, 7:20 a.m. June 6th. Okay. Now, this same person The same person here, Mr. Fig Solve, says, Bobby Smith says, I liked watching your journey, but didn't really understand what I was seeing. None of you did. But don't worry, you'll understand by the end of these hours. Just hold on tight. So, Fixolve says, yeah, I can't draw attention for the sake of protecting sources and working with law enforcement and Nick McClellan. Plus, I don't want the attention or drama. I own my own consulting business and do fine with it. I don't need YouTube money, says Fixolve. Not doing this for money or attention. It's a fight of good versus evil. Well, I agree with you there. It is a fight of good versus evil. And we're down for it. I've spoken to Nick for months. He asked for my help, so I helped him. I can't remember if I passed his info along to Nick. Getting the defense kicked off was another win. You don't say. Nick asked me to delete everything. Oh, why would someone delete anything? Why would anyone delete anything? Gray Hughes told me about Fortson in September. Becky has no idea the stuff I was doing behind the scenes. Good for her, because that would implicate her in crimes. You know, like loving Ashley Schaefer and Delphi Dummies, the troll channels, and supporting what they do, which is trolling the Delphi murders. Okay. Now let's continue. What else we got? That's enough. We got to blaze through here. Okay, let's move on. Okay, because we were sort of on the. All right, let's move on to this. I don't know who reached out to who first, so it could have been the content of the content creators reaching out to them. What? But yeah, there was definitely some contracts put in place and some content creators that were helping out with the defense team. What? I had it verified. What? And I even knew that the defense team was going to be removed about a week before it actually happened, because somebody let me know they got a cease and desist letter. They are one of these content creators I'm talking about. So they got the cease and desist before it was announced, and that the attorneys were going to be removed from the case. Sounds like our YouTubers had their hands way too deep in the legal system and in this process, doesn't it? In my opinion, the YouTubers and podcasters have been entirely too involved in this, to the point that they nearly got the defense removed from Mr. Richard Allen. All right. This is just a little snarky ass post I made, so I'll just fast forward through it. We're trying to get through this. Okay. Here's another one that shows absolutely no bias whatsoever. The defense is corrupt, says Mr. Solve, and Ms. Cuevas loving it, and someone loving that. But just in case it wasn't clear enough for you, there you go. There you go. All right. Now here's a little screenshot I stole from the R&M ladies. Just with a few little choice nuggets here. The prosecutor should not use means that have no substantial purpose other than to embarrass, delay, or burden, and not use methods of obtaining evidence that violate legal rights. The prosecutor and prosecution agents should not misrepresent their status or identity. Boom. Nick just told me he needs me to speak with an investigator about Angela, Tobor, and Yellow Jacket. They are so screwed. Murder Sheet called me a little while ago. We talked for almost 2 hours. Nick says perhaps contempt of court or obstruction charges. For who? Defense lawyers? Angela's and pals. It's not freedom of speech. So want the latest Delphi update? Nick called me yesterday. We talked for about 45 minutes because the defense is being shady and he wanted info about Angela. Murder Sheep wanted my help. And I said, F yes, bring them down. I gave everything to Nick. Text, Discord chats, emails, tons of screenshots. Well, it's okay because Rokita has them in the Attorney General's office. The defense team has the entire record of all of this. And several other attorneys are holding it, as well as several of us out here in these streets. Okay. Now, what do we have here? I'd like to draw your attention to the bottom rectangle here. Don't worry about what's at the top. That was for another show. But it's funny how these things work themselves out because for that other show, I did not read this bottom. This bottom rectangle here was left out. It wasn't applicable to the earlier show, but it is to this one. So here you go. Here you go. It says, I want to hear somebody defend the offenses committed by Liggett, Holman, and McClelland. I also want to see someone explain how the defense pointing out things that they didn't put there is some absurdity. Everyone on the side of law enforcement has hinted at these very things, from Carter to Ives to McClelland, etc. The defense just packaged it all up and used it to defend their client. If you look at the branches on the girls and then the social media accounts in question, then it is impossible to say there aren't similarities. Then you get into the connections between people, and it starts to look like Rick had some help from someone really into this stuff. Like there clearly are. Sure, like in other words, there clearly are people into this, right? Surely nobody is denying that obvious fact. Or they arrange stuff in an eerily similar fashion to make it look that way. Yes, to set up the Odinists, they formed stick figures after killing the girls. It's not that difficult to understand. This is a triple setup. Understand it, folks. Okay. The Odinists were set up. Ron Logan was set up. And now Richard Allen is being set up. Do you understand? And I don't think this changes much in how I see Rick, but I think it gives credence to him having help, potentially. So do I, Kyle. So do I. And I certainly don't think it is something to dismiss out of hand. Neither do I. First, address the egregious actions of the law enforcement team and the prosecutor outside of the Odin debate. Great job, Kyle. Rest in peace. You see, law enforcement has a duty to uphold the Constitution, to enforce the law to the extent that it be better that 99 go free than one innocent man be imprisoned. Do you understand? Do you understand that there are a litany of bodies surrounding this case? Greg Ferenczi, another one. Stephanie and Maya Thompson, others. Blaine Nelson. Who else is dead? Nate Miller? Let me tell you something. Oh yeah, McMurdy and Downham, thank you. Anyone who has been harmed by this evil, God bless you all. You see, it is my opinion that this cartel has killed every single one of these individuals, as well as our two victims. They're going to kill more. Number 8, defense counsel will be offering admissible evidence that Gary Baudet, aka Fig Solve, is a person who has involved himself in this case on the internet, claimed to have received and disseminated confidential documents, and that his source for the documents was an employee of the court. Protesting too much, Mr. Baudet has now written a fawning letter to the court denying these allegations, allegations that have not yet been made. Under the circumstances, with the allegation of a court involvement that will not go unsubstantiated, the court should not be ruling on the admissibility defense counsel's evidence regarding Mr. Baudet and his activities, much less assessing what value to give it. No, that's for us out here. Okay. The defense. Well, let's move on. Let's move on. I don't want to waste too much time. Thank you, Amber Bowles. Okay, so verified emergency motion for continuance. Okay. On March 1st, 2024, counsel took the deposition of First Sergeant Jerry Holman, at which time it was learned that there were recorded interviews that had not been provided to the prosecutor or counsel. It was learned that the attachments to First Sergeant Holman's report had not been provided to prosecutor or counsel. McClellan promised to get them. Nicole Bowen, thank you for that. Nicole Bowen, I don't want to forget that. Okay. On March 11, 2024, counsel first received the recorded interviews of Tahara Einfeld, Robert Fortson, Rick Snay, Murder Sheet Together, Mark Robert Cohen, and Kyra DeBruin, as well as the omitted attachments to the report. Due to other obligations, counsel was first able to listen to these March 13, 2024. The recorded interviews contained a wealth of information that begged independent investigation of the source of various photographs that were posted on the internet and traded between people on the internet. Additionally, had counsel had the omitted materials prior to the First Sergeant Holman's deposition, he would have asked many, many more questions that needed to be asked. Okay, and guess what? That investigation has still not been properly performed because the truth about the leaks has still not been properly told. The recorded interview of Miss Einfeld, revealed that she recognized Libby's sweatshirt was on Abby. She confirmed that she received photos from a Tyler Carpenter, and there was some connection to a screenshot from George Nye. This was the first counsel had heard of those people and the first time he heard anything about her. She also confirmed that she had corresponded with Mr. McClelland. She also indicated she had been part of a small Facebook group, a Reddit group, a YouTube channel, as well as a public Discord server with private chats. Yes, the one I just named all the members of to you. So Tyler Carpenter. Why did Jerry Holman not seek out Tyler Carpenter? We'll be getting to that later. She also revealed that a person known to her had hired a private investigator to follow McClellan. Oh, you mean the rumor? The joke? That did not happen. She also identified other persons possibly involved in the dissemination of photographs and named a Paul Manion, which is another name counsel had never heard. Lastly, She agreed to provide screenshots to First Sergeant Holman so he could cover up and produce a narrative, because he didn't investigate these leaks. During the interview with Fortson, he invoked his right to counsel more than half a dozen times. And First Sergeant Holman acknowledged that he had a Fourth Amendment right to counsel. First Sergeant Holman referenced a guy from Texas, Mark Robert Cohen, and a Kay Smith, which was a name counsel had never been aware of. There's no indication that Miss Smith was ever interviewed by Holman. First Sergeant Holman told Fortson that the judge isn't very happy and he could be charged with contempt of court. He also told him if he didn't give a statement, blah, blah, blah. And he threatened and pressured and freaked out Mr. Fortson. Okay, you get it? All right. Moving right along. Rick Snay was interviewed. Snay indicated he received 4 photos from Kyra DeBruin. Snay also indicated that he heard other people had received photos from Mark Robert and Kay Smith. Mr. Snay indicated he'd gotten the photographs Thursday, but no date was provided. First Sergeant Holman told Snay that the judge was very adamant that if any got released by anybody, she was going to issue contempt of court. In the interview of Kyra DeBruin, she indicated her source was through Reddit from Lordless Warrior. That's Robert Fortson. Mark Cohen, in his interview, indicated his source was Robert Fortson. Fortson told him to delete everything. Cohen also indicated that Fortson made a $500 donation to his daughter's Make-A-Wish fund, the GoFundMe. Well, it's interesting because there is someone out there alleging that Mr. Carpenter, the other individual just mentioned, donated $2,000 to Mr. Cohen's GoFundMe. Not only that, we had another individual donate $200 and another from the family donate $100. Why are all these people throwing money at Mark Robert Cohen, who possesses these crime scene photos? Murder Sheet were interviewed. They provided copies of the photographs. They identified their source as Mark Robert Cohen. But they only had 7 photographed, while the prosecution has alleged that 9 were disseminated. And remember, Snay only had 4, and many people only had 4. Some only had 3. So gosh, where are those photographs coming from, and what are those photographs? Don't worry, it gets worse. Had these interviews been timely provided, counsel would have had many, many more questions for Sergeant Holman. Yes, like why didn't you interview Mr. Tyler Carpenter? And why didn't you get the receipts to show evidence of his claims? McClellan indicated he would try to get screenshots if they exist when he had time, because he don't give a fuck. There's only a dead guy involved. All right. Sorry I didn't keep up with that for you guys. Sorry about that. Sorry. Okay, I forgot to turn the pages. Now, what do we have here? We have another individual alleging a source. Alleging a source here. So let's figure this one out. Let me put my thing back up. Wait just a minute. Okay, here we go. We got another. Here we have another individual, Chris Long. Who's your source? From Carroll County, a cop who knew the girls. I can't say right now because they're about to give me a whole bunch of shit, including pictures from inside the firehouse. I just want to make sure we know what we're dealing with, because we're going to have access to some shit that's going to blow the top off stuff. It's crucial that we understand all the dynamics. So who's the Carroll County cop? Chris Long. Who's the Carroll County cop that's giving you shit you shouldn't have? Who's the Carroll County cop? This is in conversation with Meow. October 11. Wait, you're meeting Holman today? Bella? Yes, I'm 20 minutes away. Oh my God, you got this and then some. I'm so nervous. My hands are sweaty. Make him slip up with some details, girl. I'll be shitting myself. I am. I don't know what to expect. A dude linked to the photo, October 13th, 2023. A dude linked to the photo leak killed himself. What? Yeah, apparently. Who? Robert Fortson. Fig made a post on his YouTube page, then deleted it. But after the guy started wiping his social media, and now he's dead. Me and Bella tomorrow after Nick and Holman fuck up and let our names slip. Haha, but for real. If it's on YouTube, if it's on live TV, I'm going to be like, sir, you had one job. I will hire a private investigator myself, or just follow Nick around and make him paranoid. We all need to. That man will never know a good night's rest again. I'm just going to send him a message immediately like, yo, what the fuck, Nick? I thought we had a deal. Meerkat and Bella, implying their names may come up at the 1019 hearing, suggesting close proximity to the leak investigation. Huh. Yeah, where was Meerkat in this leak investigation? So the deal with Nick was he doesn't say your names? Is that the link? I'm just going to send him a message. Okay, scared for tomorrow. I messaged him once, but I sent it because I was trolling him. It's the same like Christmas, but scary Christmas. It's like Christmas. Remember that. If the video of me is played by chance, Holman best have gotten my good side. Well, she and Nick had a deal that she not be named. How interesting is this? Meerkat says, this isn't the only time they haven't, this is the only time they haven't blamed Bella, Meerkat, Fig, or Murder Sheet. I wonder fucking why. And we're all the reasons for it. What? Hold on. Are you saying that you, Bella, Murder Sheet, and Fig are the reasons for the leaks? And it's the first fucking time they're not blaming you for it? I mean, that's how it reads. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. I'm sure you will. I'm sure you will. I'm sure you will have some correction to issue. I'm sure you will. Okay. Look, we're upset because there's a dead guy, and all of you motherfuckers have lied since late September. That's why we're pissed. And actually, come to think of it, it's from the day the Frank's memorandum and 136 pages of that document dropped. The day that Frank's memorandum dropped, September 18th, I believe it was, from that day, all of you assholes freaked the fuck out, and we will never forget it. No one's taking accountability. Hey, look, here's how forgiveness works. You take accountability. Will anyone take accountability for their part in the leaks? Everyone here has. Everyone in this chat who I am looking at right now has. How do you say that, Prof? Because I've spoken with them all. Everyone here has taken accountability for their part in whatever leak scenario happened. Guess who hasn't taken accountability? This is Nick McClellan messaging her. Okay? That's what that is. Remember, this is not about the YouTubers. This is about this guy right here. This is about Doug Carter. This is about Jody Williams. This is about ISP. Okay, we're very clear about who this is about. I stopped commenting on Reddit and talking in Discord groups for now because I have a feeling some shit is about to go down. And I know my name is eventually going to be dragged into it, probably in court. Whoa, you don't say. You don't say. Why would your name be brought into court if there was no reason to? I gave Nick everything, texts, Discord chats, emails, tons of screenshots, and he couldn't promise me that this won't be filed in court. Am I going to be in trouble? No, you weren't in anything. It's mainly Angela. Okay? So what are we seeing here? What are we seeing? We're seeing two groups of people. We're seeing a group of people who work for the state of Indiana colluding with a group of people who operate on social media. Are you getting it? Do you need more convincing? Let's continue. Deb's True Crime Notebook. Liked by Dawn Toretti and 5 others. Thank you, Debbie. Team Fig. You remember, this is when they all posted this image here, Team Fig, because he was under scrutiny for this exact thing we're discussing. The entire troll farm posted these up. The entire troll farm posted this up, okay? Here's an anonymous tip I received. Christina Mack. She's the hacker. She and Murder Sheet are behind all of the social media bullshit. When Alex is ready to come clean about what he knows about her skills, and she and Holman swatted Angela in June, that's not public knowledge. But several people do know. That's the only reason I'm writing to you now, is if you want to stop Holman in his tracks, find out where Christina is, because I have tried and tried, but she has scrubbed herself from the internet, like all of them. They've actually all done this. They scrub themselves before they come onto YouTube. You need a really good hacker, a pro, to find her. No, I don't. It's not my job. She's the fucking mastermind behind so much of this bullshit, and if you expose her, you expose Murder Sheet too. Good luck with that assignment if you choose to accept it. I don't blame you in the slightest if you do not, but it will come out eventually because of the swatting. The New York City and state police are involved. So they have already been caught, but the process is a long one. And as you must know, when you need to get Ellie to help you, it's fucked up all the way around. Yes, it is. Somewhat supporting this allegation, comment at the top under the letter B says Fig had his hacker friend hack into the defense team's computers to get and give Nicholas McClelland their work product on the case. And Mitch Westerman, Mark Cohen, Robert Fortson, and Fig Sauls were all involved in leaking crime scene photos and setting up the defense for it. Sounds about right. I agree. Who are you, B? Who are you? Because that's two anonymous individuals who are saying the same thing to me. Okay. Welcome in, Julie. Welcome in, Julie. Interesting that she's here because I was just about to take a look at this. Okay, we're about to take a little look at March 18, 2024, because it's extremely important to reevaluate the happenings of March 18th, 2024. You're going to find out why. Please state and spell your name. Julie Melvin. Do you know Terry Williams? Yes. What? Yes. How long do you know her? I met her through the case. I'm going to hand you what's marked as Defendant's L and ask if you can identify it. Yes. What's that? That's my phone record of phone calls we had back in 2017 with Terry Williams. Yes. Okay. Judge, I'm going to object. Of course you would. I don't know what the relevance of this exhibit is. Phone records between Julie Melvin and a Terry Williams. Well, don't you know that Terry Williams is a witness in this case? Don't you know that? McClellan? That's how it's relevant. Hennessy says, well, the next sheet is a Facebook page, a shot of a Facebook page of Terry Williams, and it involves Terry Williams sharing with Miss Melvin confidential information about the investigation and from whom she received it. These are the other leaks, and the relevance, again, is to show that there's plenty of other sources not connected to, I tell you, I don't think the Westerman leak. Westerman's been connected to Andy by the evidence, but no knowledge of the leak. So I'm asking to put in evidence of other leaks on the contempt issue. A, that there's many other sources of information about the investigation. Yeah, they're all coming from law enforcement or the prosecutor's office. And as the evidence goes on, there will be testimony that even of the photos that they attribute to Mr. Westerman cannot have come from Baldwin's office. Well, that's damn right. Okay. What is that? It's basically an accounting that Terry Williams gave me on the phone, but it's written as she told it. Was that a Facebook post? Yes, by Terry. Okay, offer M. McClellan, Judge, I object. Of course you would, because you don't want this story told, McClellan, because it fucks you over. Pardon the language. I'm not sure of Hennessy's plan, but if this is a plan to parade a bunch of podcasters and YouTubers up to the stand and talk about other leaks, that has no relevance of what we're here to discuss today, Judge. Yes, it does, because all of the podcasters and YouTubers in this group have colluded with all of the law enforcement and prosecution office employees in this group. Like, didn't you just hear me say that there's two groups? One is a group belonging to the state of Indiana. The other is a group of podcasters and YouTubers. So it is highly relevant. You don't want it in the record. Let's be clear on that. The defense believes there are other leaks, or podcasters believe there are other leaks, or YouTubers believe there are other leaks, has no relevance to what we're here to discuss today. And so these two objections, the state is objecting. Of course you would. All right. Number one, says Hennessy, it won't be a parade because I'm only going to call them one at a time. Good job. Good job, Hennessy. You're quick for an old man. Number two, it's highly relevant. Well, I do agree with you on that one. I do agree with you on that, Mr. Hennessy. At least in my mind, it goes to the theory of the defense. And I've already explained why it's relevant to both punishment and contempt. Okay, I think at some point, if you get to the question of punishment, organizational math, what kind of damage or prejudice or harm that has caused versus leaks about the complete probable cause affidavit, the existence of a bullet at the crime scene. Oh, listen what he's doing now. Listen what he's doing. He's laying out some of the prior leaks. Okay, in a paragraph. Look, leaks about the complete probable cause affidavit, comma, the existence of a bullet at the crime scene, comma, the recovery of a firearm at Mr. Allen's house, comma, and it goes on and on. Yes, and who are all those behind those leaks? Say so if you know in the chat, because I know you know in the chat. There's some of you in here who do know who are behind all of those issues he just listed. probable cause affidavit, existence of a bullet, recovery of a firearm, and the list goes on. Yeah, it's called the existent leaks that have gone on for years in this case, thanks to law enforcement and the prosecutor's office. Okay, I'll just skip ahead here. Here we go. Summary fashion. Mr. Hennessy, middle of the page, line 11. Okay, Miss Melvin would testify that she has followed this case closely, that she has seen many other posts that have been publicly disseminated on purpose and willfully by other people. That is evidence from the investigation, including crime scene photos unconnected to the defense, unconnected to Mr. Westerman, unconnected to Mr. Fortson, and that the sources have been vast, including law enforcement, Sergeant Holman, for one, and other people involved in the investigation. Thank you. Yes. Are you hearing me? In the record. So of course, the judge didn't allow it in. Of course, McClelland objected. Judge didn't allow it in. They railroaded Julie right on out the goddamn seat. But guess what? Here comes Mr. Stephen Wood. Here comes Mr. Stephen Wood next. Here comes Mr. Stephen Wood. Now, this is where it gets deep. Are you guys ready for Stephen Wood? This is where it gets deep. And I'm going to explain something to you. And maybe Julie will chime in here when we get to the end of this. Because Julie was she probably has a good description for you of the end of this testimony of Skip. So you guys just hold on, okay? You just hold on to your hats for a moment. Stephen Wood, please state your name. Stephen Wood. Do you have a nickname online? Yeah, Skip Jansen. People call you Skip. They sure do. So do I. So do I. Okay. Have you followed the Delphi investigation? I have. I followed it since August 2020. Do you know Gary Bodette? Yes, I do. How do you know him? He and I became friends. We initially met around, I think, January 2022. I made several appearances on his channel, on his YouTube channel, talking about the case, and we just became friends over that time. And were you a part of a group that he was a part of a group of? What? I'm sorry. Say it again. Were you a part of a group that he was a part of? Yes, we were in a Discord group. You know, the one I just read all the names to you earlier. Do you know of different names that he went by? He went by Fig Solves. He went by Fig Newton USA, I think, on Reddit. But Fig Newton, how cute. How cute, Fig. And he's known as Fig, yeah. Fig Solves, Fig Newton. Okay, I'm going to hand you what's been marked as Defendant's Exhibit N and ask you to identify it. Yeah, this is a conversation he and I had over text. And how do you know that? I'm familiar with the conversation. He and I talked a lot. Like I said, we were good friends, so we communicated a lot. Offer N. Mr. Wood, says McClelland, may I ask a new foundational question? The conversation that you had with Mr. Bodette, does it have anything to do about an email sent from Baldwin to Mr. Woodhouse? It does not. Does it have anything to do with photos that were taken from Baldwin's office? I don't believe so. It's Fig Mutant? Oh, I see. I see. Not Newton. Okay, because that would be funny. That's more, I guess it's gayer to say Fig Newton, but Fig Mutant, it's equally weird. But okay, we'll go with that. Thank you. Thank you for clarifying. Look, thanks for keeping the record straight here. I appreciate that. Okay. All right. Does it have anything to do with a press release? See, you see what McClelland's doing here? You see what he's trying to do? He's trying to poo-poo this away, but it ain't gonna, because he's about to get it in the nuts, okay? Thanks to Skip here. You see how McClelland is making statements? You see how McClelland is making statements rather than questions? He says, does it have anything to do with an ongoing leak from the defense out to the public? There's no ongoing leak from the defense, McClelland. It's from your office and from Gull and from the ISP. Let's be clear. And allegedly, some cop in Carroll County. But we'll be getting to that later also. So N was not admitted. Okay, N was not admitted. You can read that for yourself and see. N was not admitted. So we offer O. Uh, can you identify O? Yes, this is a text conversation between Fig, Gary Baudet, and myself, and it's covering several different things about the case, about sources in the case mainly. Thank you. Offer. Okay. All right, here we go. I guess, can I take a look at it? See what it is. Judge, same objection as before to relevance, blah, 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 blah. Same response. And the court will show, O is not admitted. Of course not. But hey, don't worry, guys. That's the very first things I showed you, okay? The very first several things that I showed you today. These were those exhibits. So let's just continue because we're going to get to the important part. I'm going to hand you an envelope marked flash drive, FIG, November 22, 2022, YouTube video. Are you familiar with that? I'm familiar with the video, yes. And inside the flash drive of that YouTube, and you recognize that? I do. And what's that? What does he talk? What did he talk about in that YouTube? He talks about cartridges, bullets, casings, unspent casings, cartridges, mostly evidentiary stuff for the most part. Move to offer Q. Judge, I'm going to object. Same objection. Relevance. Same response. Okay, Q is not admitted. Are you getting what's basically every important piece of evidence that Skip had here? Trash, trash, trash. Okay. Question, and then did Mr. Baudet reveal a lot of detailed information about the investigation? Objection, Judge, that says McClelland. Same objection. No relevance. Sustained. It's the same relevance, says Hennessy. Same. My theory and theme regarding contempt and punishment, there's two parts to it. You need to give that exhibit to Jody if you want it in the record, sir. She has it. Okay, you've got it. Do you have any further questions? Offer to prove. Go ahead. I like to do it in question and answer form. Here's where the genius. Okay, people can talk about Hennessy all they want. They can stalk Hennessy in the hotel, meeting with Skip and Julie if they want. They can do all the goddamn shit they want to try to discredit Hennessy. But right here, he proves his worth. He proves his valor. Okay, question and answer format. Very brilliant. You may proceed. Thank you. Could you please, just for the record, indicate what kind of information Baudet was putting out there? Are you specifically to the October, November of 2022, or just in general? All over. A lot of stuff, says Skip, a lot. So he claimed to have different sources, and he talked about a lot of things. Just, wouldn't he indicate that there was going to be a release of documents in 1 week, and then that occurred in 1 week? Yeah, you know, the one I just showed you at the beginning of the show. Yes, he did. I believe on June 16th, 2023, he said that his source had told him they were going to release a large set of documents. Some are older, some are new, is how he described it. And then a week or so later, they were released. Did he post that he had the unredacted probable cause affidavit filed in support of the charges against Mr. Allen? Yes. And was it before it was publicly available? I don't recall exactly. I do recall this. He was adamant about the fact that the PCA had two versions. There was a 1.0 and 2.0. And what we've seen, the public seen, was a 2.0 version. And that was, again, came from the same source that told him about the documents that were released in June. And did he claim his source was an employee of Judge Gall? He did. Did he ever identify that person? He did not. Did he ever attribute other leaked information to that source? He did, yes. And what was it? He said that one or more of the opinion, one was more opinion-based. One said that this person thought that Richard Allen was guilty and hoped that Judge Gall kept him in Westville for a long time. Like I said, it was the PCA, the version 2.0 of that, the documents that were released in June. There was no reason to believe he wasn't telling the truth because everything he was saying was right. Judge, I'm going to object at that point. At this point, I'm going to object. We're going far beyond an offer of proof. I'm freaking out. I'm freaking out. I'm freaking out. You just kicked me in the nuts because now we can't throw Baldwin and Rozzi off this case. Judge, I'm going to object. Did he identify? Oh, let me turn the page. This gets important too. Skipping ahead a bit. Did he identify any other sources? Did he say it again? Sorry. Did he identify any other sources? He did. Who? Prosecutor McClelland. And he was in communication with Mr. McClelland? Yes, he was. Judge, again, I'm going to object. I think we're outside of the scope of the offer of proof. Object. I'm going to object to this line of questioning. The documents would establish that Mr. McClelland and Mr. Bodette were in communication. They were trading information. Mr. McClelland said he wanted to talk to other people in the group. Mr. McClelland sent Mr. Bodette a message telling him to delete everything. So that would be the testimony. And then lastly, so he and Mr. McClelland communicated, and then there would be other sources besides the employee of Judge Gull. Judge, I'm going to renew the objection. I'm going to object. This is outside the offer of proof. Blah, blah, blah. Sustained. Line 11. Okay, I absolutely respectfully disagree, but the only last thing I'll say is that the November 22nd of 2022 YouTube of Mr. Bodette establishes that Mr. Bodette had what he called version 2.0 of the probable cause affidavit 1 week before it was ever available to anyone. That's it. Thank you. Do you have any questions for the witness? No, Your Honor. Okay. Okay, hold on. Let me do this. Round of applause to Skip. Julie, please tell us why that was important. Please, Julie. Please describe the look on Judge Gull's face and everyone else at that very moment. Would you please do that? Because I'd like to elaborate. Thank you. It's a new day for the super sticker, by the way. I forgot to say thank you. Thank you. I was engrossed in reading that, and I'm trying. You guys, listen. You have to understand why that was important, and I don't think you understand yet. Because what they were trying to pull a fast one, okay, and remove Balbin and Razi from the defense of Mr. Richard Allen. And you know who stopped it in its tracks? Please understand who stopped them in their tracks. Skip Jansen stopped them in their tracks, okay? And Julie's not chiming in, but I'll tell you what I know, because I had some witnesses inside the courtroom at this very moment describe to me what happened. Oh, well, there she goes. Julie's describing. So let me read her description. Okay. Gull raised her eyebrows. The clerk's mouth dropped open. Gull jerked her head back, trying to hide her shock and dismay. She actually stopped working on her crossword puzzle at that moment. Oh my God! You guys are hilarious. Well, it's funny, Julie. Thank you for that description, that visual description. That's exactly what I heard from a couple people, other than Julie. I heard from a couple people that this exact thing happened. That both Gull and the clerk were visibly shook, almost with that look of hand in the cookie jar, or oh shit, I'm caught, or what are we going to do now? Oh shit. Okay, I'll leave it at that. Yeah, thank you again, Skip. You guys, you and Hennessy, I got to say, that was you and Hennessy. You did like that was the best, what do you call it? Alley-oop or setup with it. You guys set that up just perfectly, because even though in the face of extreme opposition and a biased judge and a prosecutor who collectively objected every single receipt into the trash can, even so, Hennessy made a brilliant move to do a question and answer offer to prove, and got that information into the record and rang Judge Gull's bell. Guess who else was sitting in that courtroom? Doug Carter. Doug Carter was sitting in that courtroom. Now, let me tell you something else. When this hearing was over, Doug Carter was so upset about this particular turn of events that he scolded one of our witnesses. If you wondered why little Joe Lewis and I were furious with Doug after March 18th, now you know. Because he scolded one of our witnesses like a child, showing how upset he was at the fact that they could not remove Baldwin and Rozzi from the defense of Mr. Richard Allen. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the rest of the story. I don't know. What did Carter's face say? Maybe Julie would know. Maybe Julie would know. Anyone in that courtroom should know how Carter responded. Okay, so yeah, Carter, Gull, and McClelland got their ass handed to them because of these very receipts I just showed you, okay, from Skip. Because you know why? They know it's not okay to collude and conspire with YouTubers and podcasters. They knew it. They know it. They know what they were doing was wrong and is wrong. That's why they looked the way that they looked at that very moment. Oh, yeah. There you go. They knew they were wrong, okay? Now let's continue because I don't want to get caught up in just this, okay? Don't want to get caught up. Just let me cough just a moment. Oh gosh, wow, that was refreshing. Now let's talk about ISP doing the wrong thing. Get this up for you. There you go. From Holman's motion in limine transcript. And are you aware in this offense, my understanding is that Ms. Carbaugh and Ms. Blair, they didn't want to do a sketch, but they were pressured by police to assist in the investigation. Is that a true statement? Yes. And the timeline, they asked you the question, the timeline is dependent on the sketches. That's not a true statement, is it? Our timeline isn't depending on sketches. No, it's dependent on people that saw these people they sketched. So witness testimony, yes. Okay, and then the last question is, once Richard Allen was arrested, it was ISP's view that these are the same people. So hold on. So the timeline is dependent on the people who saw the people they sketched, but they were pressured by police to do the sketches. Well, that you know why that adds up? Because let's look at this one. From Douglas Rice, rest in peace. Guess what? So Rayleigh's mom reached out to me yesterday. Law enforcement interviewed her again within the last several months and basically tried to get her to agree the recent sketch is who she saw. When she didn't go along, they told her she wasn't a credible witness. What the heck is going on? Right. So they tried to pressure Rayleigh as well into agreeing that she saw the second sketch when she didn't. I mean, bro. But we're supposed to ignore every single bit of this. Okay, we're supposed to ignore it. Truly. We're supposed to ignore that law enforcement is pressuring the ladies to make the sketches, both of them. Pressuring the witness that who she saw was one of the sketches. And if not, she's not a credible witness. Does this start to sound like bad faith to you? List of additional witnesses for contempt hearing. Communications between Gary Bodette, Fig Sauls, Prosecutor McClellan. Communications from Bodette, Prosecutor McClellan. Bodette's communications with Angela Sadlowski. Bodette's YouTube episode regarding Delphi. Bodette's communication with court staff revelation. Bodette's communication regarding disqualification of defense. Documentation of the relationship between Bodette, Fortson, and Cohen. Bodette sending defense work product to McClellan. Bodette sending McClellan. Bodette identifying source in Delphi. Bodette posting regarding sending information to McClellan. Bodette posting regarding digging dirt on Baldwin. Bodette posing regarding law enforcement and prosecution. Bodette emailed McClellan. Blah, blah, blah. The list goes on and on. Bodette published those leaks on November 22nd, 2022. He claimed his source was an employee of Judge Gull. It's in the court record. Bodette references this video in a Discord chat session April 2, 2023 as proof his source works with the judge, quote. And that he had Richard Allen PCA a week before the document was unsealed. He said he knew the defense attorneys would be disqualified a week before, and they were, and that it was a win. These leaks were before Baldwin and Rozzi were even appointed. September 29, 2022, an email was sent from Tony Liggett to Debbie Lowe of the Carroll County Comet. You know, the one they all hate. Poor Debbie Lowe, who has been exceptional in her coverage of this case. And who they celebrated leaving the Comet. That Debbie Lowe? Yes, that's Debbie Lowe. Concerning the special prosecutor investigation into Hatch Act violations, this final decision was under seal, and the case is still currently either blocked or sealed from public view. On Gary Bodette Fig Sauls doing live show about Richard Allen's arrest, he mentions that there will be evidence involving a bullet or casing as part of the PCA. Bodette references this video in a Discord chat session April 2nd, 2023 as proof his source works with the judge. And he had a Richard Allen PCA a week before the document was utilized. I mean, is it starting to look like we know what we're talking about? On November 22nd, 2022, Fig Saul had communications with the prosecutor doing a live show about Richard Allen's arrest, mentioned that there will be evidence involving a bullet or casing as part of the PCA. Bodette references this video. Is this proof his source works with the judge? All right. Amended motion to compel and request for sanctions. Okay. Because see, over here, we just don't show you whatever. We don't just show you whatever. Okay. We don't run our mouths and not back up with documentation these statements we are making. This is the document we will be looking at. You understand? It says, the first report provided some detail as to how the state of Indiana explained that certain videotaped recordings between February 14th, 2017 and February 20th, 2017, which would include Holder's interview, were erased. Therefore, the request has been satisfied. However, other reports detail how all videos between April 28th, 2017 and June 30th, 2017 were also lost. This is news to the defense, as the defense was aware that certain videos did not contain audio, but was unaware that videotaped interviews between April 28th and June 30th were missing. This is most concerning. Additionally, it appears that the defense that the report is incomplete, as it details the attempts to recover the lost interviews, including purchasing new equipment from China. That always makes me laugh. Based upon the paragraph 5A2 above, the defense requests a court compel the state to provide the complete report of law enforcement attempts to recover the missing videotaped interviews. The defense will be requesting the court compel the state of Indiana to provide a listing of all persons whose interviews were interview that was videotaped but lost. But unfortunately, according to the state of Indiana, there is no comprehensive written log that was used to document date, time, subject, and participants for each interview room. So you're telling me you lost all video between April 28th, 2017 and June 30th, and between February 14th, 2017 and February 20th. You don't even have a record of what you lost. So not only is it lost, there's no record of it. So it gets worse. Forever lost. Furthermore, it's very disconcerting that the defense just learned of this lost evidence, and only upon request of the defense of such a report, and more than 14 months after the defense should have learned of this lost evidence. Totaling the missing days of interviews, February 14th to February 20th, 2017, and April 28th to June 30th of 2017, would show that the state of Indiana has lost 70 days worth of interviews. Look, it's number E right there at the top there. Right there at the top, E. Please read with me. Show that the state of Indiana has lost 70 days worth of interviews and claims to have no ability to fully account for who was interviewed during those 70 days. No logs, no records, no telling. Do you understand? Number 8, here in the center. In response, the state of Indiana claims that no phone dump evidence exists from Kelsey German's phones, nor Mike or Becky's or Cody Patty's phones, and furthermore that the prosecutor's office does not possess any phone dump data from those phones. However, it is still unknown whether that phone dump data did exist at some point in time, which questions more than fair considering the loss of 70 days of investigative activity as referenced above. It would be hard to believe that law enforcement would not have obtained the phone dump data from the parties identified in this paragraph, Kelsey German, Mike, Becky, and Cody Patty, to at least determine the fucking timelines. Not only that, what about the 6 or 7 interviews of Kelsey German in which they were not nice to her? Where are the records of those interviews? What about the phone Abby had? The defense would compel the court to order the state of Indiana to provide all geofencing data and the names of the actual persons or persons that interpreted the geofencing data, including the persons or persons that reduced the geofencing data to a map that has been provided. But you think it's not important? Do we really think it's not important? I direct you now to the post-hearing memorandum 325-2024, an excerpt of which I'll read for you now. State's Exhibit 6 was 143 pages of Fortson's communications. The state had previously provided undersigned counsel 145 pages. At no time did they disclose which pages were removed or why. In the highlighted section here, not once did Fortson identify Westerman as his source. So who says? He never said. Zealously erasing things they don't want messed up. It will not let me add punctuation. Oh, don't worry about it. Listen, what we need to be upset about is the zealous erasing of all of this investigative product. Pardon me, I'm belching. We don't know who was interviewed, what was lost, whose phones were dumped, what was lost. Is all this shit lost, or is it erased in bad faith? I mean, we're at the point in this when you have to start asking this question. And the fact that the Patties have nothing to say about this is appalling. It is. Don't you care that all of this from the employees of the state? Employees of the court, employees of the prosecutor's office, employees of the sheriff's office, employees of the ISP, the Unified Command itself. And where's the outrage? Why is it us, conspiracy theorists, out here with the outrage? Don't talk about the family is all I've ever heard. Yeah. Well, that's why they threaten to kill me, try to make me kill myself, and all the other stuff. That's why they do what they do. You talk about the family, they all come after you. Why? Because the family opens the door into the fact that this is a cartel hit. It's all about drugs. It's all about the family was involved with drugs. Hello. There you go. There you go. It gets worse. It gets worse. Let's review a helpful post from my friend and yours, Mr. ACV 5360. I'll go down this list for you. I think your minds will be blown. Okay. Exhibits. 1. Communications between Gary Bodette, Fig Solves, Prosecutor McClellan. ACV says, but I was told the screenshots were photoshopped. Of course, that's always the excuse, isn't it? It's always the excuse. Communications from Bodette about McClellan. Greeno's episode entitled Crime Nation Delphi Murders Watch and Review. Rick Snee on True Crimes Investigates. Which episode? Baldwin email to McClellan regarding Professor Turco report. Bodette's communications with Sadlowski. Bodette's YouTube episode regarding the Delphi investigation. Which episode? Aren't they all kind of about the Delphi investigation, says ACV. But that's communications regarding court staff revelations. What are those revelations? But that's communications regarding disqualification of defense counsel, documentation of the relationship between Bodette, Fortson, and Cohen. Was not expecting this, says ACV. Documentation of the relationship. Oh, I got that. Bodette sending defense work product to McClelland. This seems like a big deal, says ACV. What work product? And where did this work product come from? Oh, was it hacked as the prior two allegations that were tipped into my channel say? Bodette sending information to McClelland. Bodette identifying source in Delphi investigation. Who is this source? Someone in an LE? Yeah. Bodette posting regarding asking Bodette to delete everything. Yeah, Nick McClelland asking Bodette to delete everything. Robert Fortson asking Mark Cohen to delete everything. What's with all the delete? What's with all the deleting here? Why delete? You know you can't delete from the internet, right? Barbara McDonald on Court TV with leaked investigative information. McClelland email to defense regarding Professor Turco report. Leaked search warrant affidavit prior to unsealing. Leaked to whom? If this item is on the list, there are a few select YouTube channels that should be named. Okay, next page. Thank you, ACV, for the help. Sergeant Holman communications with Terry Williams and or secret keeper. Who is this? YouTubers Frank Meister and Sleuth video. The YouTube Inquisitor True Crime claiming leaked communications from Rick Allen. Oh, it sounds like all the troll farm leaking. Actually, sounds like everybody in the Discord. Terry Williams posting about inside information of the crime scene investigation. October 22nd, 2022 YouTube video of Bodette discussing his knowledge of a bullet at the crime scene, knowledge that a gun was found at Rick Allen's house when that information was still under seal and a week before it was unsealed. Why the hell is Murder Sheet not named here also, says ACV. Email exchange between Gull and Razi regarding accidentally misdirected email. Yeah, you know that's about the Brandon Woodhouse email, which was a nothing burger. List of media disseminated. See how they take the nothing burgers and they blow them up out of proportion, like has been done in this past couple weeks, and this very thing with the Brandon Woodhouse. But then they take the things that are absolutely essential, like the subject matter of tonight's show, everything I have shown and will be showing you, and they pretend it doesn't exist, sweep it under the rug, and object and sustain the objections. It's a it's a concerted effort to deceive the public. Jeez. Baldwin emailed to Judge Gull 10/9/23. List of media dissemination by state actors. Who created this list and can this list be shared? I want to ensure this list is comprehensive, says ACV. Julie Melvin documents and what documents? YouTube video titled A Reckoning in Carroll County. This list is a decent start, but it appears to be missing a few fundamental items. It's time to name the names in these. In my opinion only, says ACV. And he's knocking it out of the fucking park. Thank you, ACV. You're the man. Okay, ACV giving some good thoughts here to keep in mind, like naming the names, like we're doing tonight, okay? Like we're doing tonight. And look, like I said, this is not an attack on these individuals. This is an attack on the employees of the government. I am talking about Doug Carter. Yes, it's an attack on Doug Carter. Yes, it's an attack on Nick McClelland. Yes, it's an attack on the Carroll County Sheriff's Office and the Indiana State Police and everyone in the prosecutor's office. It is an attack on the Unified Command. That's what this is. Let's be clear. Sleuthy 3724 said new filing in the Richard Allen case. List of additional witnesses and exhibits from Contempt hearing. Looks like we're about to see some sunlight. Thankfully, that's what we're seeing tonight, Sleuthy. And I chose to highlight this because you had a nice paragraph here that says many exhibits centering around Gary Baudet, who has a YouTube channel called Fig Solves. Exhibits include his relationship to crime scene photo leakers, including the one who subsequently committed suicide, as well as Baudet sending prosecutor McClelland information to include defense attorney work product. Yeah, it's Sleuthy knocking it out of the park. All right. All right, now we're going to move on. We're going to move on here. We're going to phase 2. All right. Yeah, thanks to ACV for the dedication to always giving us things to think about. Sometimes spot on, sometimes a little off, but always worth a second look. Okay. All right, so let's see what we got here. Thank you, Sleuthy. That was calling it out when it happened, and now we're just reviewing. You know, we're taking a little look back at to what has actually transpired that is of value, because so many people want you to look at things that don't fucking matter whatsoever. Okay, actually, I want to highlight this comment here. Where's this comment I just saw? All this deleting and meeting investigators about R&M and all this other silly stuff is not becoming of a prosecutor that supposedly has a strong case and should conduct themselves more professionally. Yes, that's why we're addressing this tonight, because that's a nothing burger. Okay, that's a nothing burger. That's actually a nothing burger. Okay. Now let's part 2, we're going to have someone on to tell you a very important story. So let me put the link up. I want you guys to hear this firsthand. So we're going to do it live. We're going to do it live here. Okay. Phase Doe. Man, this is dirty, says Mock Lawrence. Welcome in. Interesting, Nick telling someone to delete everything and then finding so much potential evidence. You have to wonder if Nick also said this of the evidence. Yeah, what else has been deleted? This is amazing tonight, enlightening. Great to see all this information, hard work out for all to see at once. We're only halfway through, so hold on. Hold on. We'll see if Noe clicks in. Okay, just a moment. I'm going to get him up here. I see he's back there. So this is a very important thing. So let me set the stage before he comes in. Oh, let's see. So here's what you need to know. We were taking a close look at the March 18, 2024 contempt hearing. Okay, I read from you some of the transcript regarding Julie Melvin and Skip Jansen. Remember, we just read through that. Okay, Julie Melvin, Skip Jansen. Okay, we know that in attendance was Doug Carter that day. Okay, so we're going to have Noe on to tell us some more, because Noe was also in attendance. Welcome, Noe. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Hey, what's up, Noe? Welcome in. Good to hear you.
Thank you, Prof. And I'd like to start by saying hi to the chat. I've been following the chat. So I want to say hi to a couple people, Julie and Skip.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say hi to Josh and Carol and everybody else. It's a very good chat. For once I followed the whole chat. A lot of times I just listen, etc. But yeah, I wanted to say hi to your audience, man.
Yeah, well, thanks for coming, Noe. So, Noe, you were there on March 18th. Is that correct? At the
Yeah.
contempt hearing?
Yep, that's correct. Correct.
Okay. Did you go inside the building?
Yeah, I was inside the building for half of the day, uh, from approximately 8 a.m. till noon. At noon, when the judge dismissed us for lunch, uh, we all know what happened. I had an incident with Mr. Rick Snay.
Okay, let's forget about that part.
Well, yeah. Well, telling you what happened,
Yeah.
and I was not allowed to return for the second half of the day. That's my
Right.
account to that.
So
I was
that's
there.
that day. So I'm sure everyone will remember that day.
Yeah,
Basically, if they don't remember anything else, they probably remember the you and Rick going chest to chest and doing some
you're
belly.
right. Yep. Mm.
You gotta love it. You gotta love it.
Okay.
Uh, well, man, you and I have been speaking about something here very concerning.
Mm-hmm.
And I asked you if you would come on tonight and share it with our listeners because I know that no one has heard this yet,
Mm-hmm.
and uh, and we know it's honest. And
Mm-hmm.
so I'm going to give you the floor now, and I'd
Okay.
like you to just start and lay it out for our people, and then I will then I'll comment after you're done. But
Okay.
yeah. So will you please tell us about this March 18 and some of the concerning things you witnessed?
Yeah, and it's exactly just that concerning. Uh, at the time that I witnessed this, I really didn't put much thought to it. That's why I never shared it. Um, but recently, you and I have talked about this, and I've shared it with a few other people, just very close, or a very small number of people, that because things are concerning when it comes to these groups of people that you are referring to tonight. Well, I'm going to start by laying out a timeline, um, so that way I can just hit the important points and people can understand, especially those who were in attendance uh, on March 18th in Allen County at the court building. So we're going to start at 6 a.m. At 6 a.m., I arrived Fort Wayne, Indiana, and I parked my vehicle at the YMCA, which is about 2 blocks from the court building, and I walked my way to the court building. So about 6:15 a.m., I'm in the front lawn of the the Allen County Court building, and the first person I encounter was Barbara McDonald, which we all know she's a journalist, and I came up to her, and we ran into each other on the sidewalk on the east side of the building. I said good morning to her, and to me, it seemed like she was looking for the door to get a spot. So we walked together, and when we got to the front of the building, the front entrance, murder sheet was there already. So we stationed ourselves um, bef- behind them, or a few feet away from murder sheet, and we waited there. So I'm gonna move the timeline to about 7 a.m. So at 7 a.m., there's people start arriving. That morning, I saw Kathy Clendenning, Bob Mata, uh, Frank Meister showed up, etc. Um, Kimberly Chaston, a lady who likes to rescue all the dogs, came there, asked me if she was cold, so I was kind enough to let her use my gloves. Uh, Many other YouTubers that showed up, so the line kept getting bigger. So now I'm gonna move on to 7:30 a.m. And this we're still standing in line. We know that most buildings, court buildings, open at 8 a.m. So at 7:30, approximately about half hour before they let us in, um, I look to the east side of the building, and let me lay out this. Let me explain this layout so that people can understand it better. On the east side of the building, there's some staff parking, and that particular day, On the east side is where Mr. Schnee and I did the chest bumping. Also, is the side where most of the media tents were placed for camera crews who stayed outside during the hearing. And I had I had met Barbara McDonald, and they allowed me to keep my phone in their tent, which was exactly where Rick Snay and I bumped chests. So that's the east side of the building, right? And the sidewalk that goes from the front entrance to the east side of the building, there is an area there designated for handicap parking. So at 7:30 a.m., I looked in that direction and I saw a black SUV. Now, remember, this is before we were let in to the building. And right approximately around that time, between like 7:30 and 7:45 a.m., I witnessed uh, Indiana State Police Superintendent Doug Carter exiting this black SUV. So my thought was, oh, there's Doug, right? There's the superintendent. And my thought at that moment was that must be his patrol unit, because it was uh, every window on that vehicle was tinted dark, super dark, extremely extra dark. So I figured it must be a government vehicle, and that must be what Doug Carter drives. He exited the vehicle. He put on his ISP hat and started walking down the sidewalk towards us. He walked past the line in front of me and Barb, around the murder sheet, and they led him in to the building. Obviously, uh, we had to wait till 8. So, okay, now I'm gonna move the timeline to 11:45 or noon. Let's say noon, or lunch break. So during the first part of the morning, yeah, I was inside the building. I was inside the chambers, and at lunchtime, uh, we all know that I there was another word exchange between Snay and myself, and and the court staff, the court security asked me to leave the building, right? So when I came out, okay, now just keep in mind, remember the east side of the building. I came out and started walking that sidewalk towards that area where um hand, the handicap parking area. Okay, and when I came face to face with this black SUV with extreme dark tinted windows, I could see, I could clearly see that it was Chris Long, and I could see a silhouette of his face wearing shades. And next to him was another YouTuber known as Jinx13. Um, so I looked closely, and I turned on my phone and started recording him. And I decided that I was going to confront Chris Long. By this time, Kathy Clendenin had told me that he was behind the troll channel known as Delphi Dirty or Delphi Strong, which came up right around the same time as Delphi Dummies. So I had that you know animosity with Chris Long, knowing that he was behind, or at least knew who was, or associated with these channels. And of course, they used his drone footage, which told me even more. He's associated with these channels, right? The Tommy Frost and Mark Owen religiously praise, and so does Becky Party, Becky Patty, according to Mark Cohen. Um, anyway, so I came around and I got on his window, and I said, I want to talk to you, while I was recording him. And he would not lower his window. So I came around, and I recorded him. I mean, I had told everybody that I was gonna do that ahead of time. I did not stalk. I went face to face. They could see me. I could see them. I did not hide in the corner or on the second floor recording him. No, or with a drone. I went face to face with my phone in his face. He wouldn't talk to me. Okay, so now I made a video of that, and I was post. It was posted on my old channel, which has been down. Um, so I still have the recording, but besides the point. All right, so we're gonna move the timeline now to after lunch. So let's say 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. I decided to walk around behind the building and and go look at the go try and find where okay, let me say something real quick. I was not allowed to return inside the building, but I stayed outside, and I went and I grabbed my vehicle and moved it from the YMCA space parking lot to the east side of the building, and I parked right by the tents, the media tents that were outside, and I stayed outside the whole time, right? So at one point, after everybody went back inside, I stayed in my vehicle. It was cold, but I decided to walk around the back of the, which would have been the south side of the court building, and my goal was to go and try and find where Indiana Department of Correction had parked and where they would be loading Richard Allen back onto the vehicles to transport him back to Westville. And I wanted to catch footage of that because someone had requested if I could do that for them. So since I was not inside the court, that became my, like, my little, um, my next project. So when I walked around the south side of the court building, right on the corner there, as I turned, I see Doug Carter getting out of his patrol unit with a cup of coffee, which obviously he was heading back to go to the to the inside the court building to be part of, or be there for the second half of the day, right? I just witnessed him. I didn't talk to him or anything because I was so busy with my camera. But I noticed that he had a white Charger with the Indiana logo, the ISP logo. So then I thought, wait, this morning I saw Doug Carter exiting a black SUV with tinted windows, and now he's got this vehicle. So then I put one and one together, and I'm like, oh, that was Chris Long's vehicle he exited from. It had to be because that's where Chris Long had been parked that morning, and when I had just filmed him. So I always wondered, and it was concerning to me, and I wonder what went inside there, what they talked about. Jinx was in there. To me, it looked kind of shady. And this was like right before a contempt hearing. It took me a while to bring it up. And one of the first persons that I brought this up to was to the prof. But we never shared it. I mean, I never saw the point in sharing it. But now with this type of show that prof is doing, I thought that I, shared this story. So that's the account of what I saw on March 18th outside the court building in Allen County. Doug Carter hanging out with individuals that have, followed people around, drone footage people around, planned ahead of time of what they're gonna do. Like, for example, in Miami County, 6 months earlier, they were there's I've seen the text between Chris Long and Jinx and Karen White where they had planned to film Holly Lowry, which I happened to be with her, so they filmed me as well. There's receipts for that. There are. So it made me wonder what was Doug Carter doing inside that vehicle with Chris Long that morning. So I just thought I'd share that, and Prof talked to me about it. I agreed. So that's what I have to bring to the table tonight in regards to Prof's show. And that's that, Prof.
Okay, okay. So thank you. So to summarize for the people, the quick version is that in the morning, first thing in the morning, you saw Doug getting out of Chris and Jinx, Chris Long's and out of the vehicle with Chris Long and Jinx,
Mm-hmm.
who are two of the very most long-standing trolls that have been behind all the chaos on the Delphi murders narrative here on YouTube. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So let me. I just for our people, let me just ask you: are you sure that was Chris Long's truck?
Yes, I'm positive. I filmed it myself.
Okay. Are you sure that was Jinx and Chris Long in Chris Long's truck?
Yeah, I got pictures of it.
And you're sure that Doug Carter got out of the vehicle with after talking and sitting in there with Chris Long and Jinx.
Absolutely. I
Okay.
saw him exit the vehicle. He put on his hat and walked down the sidewalk to the front entrance. He walked right in
Okay.
front of all of us, and he went inside the court building.
Thank
Yes,
you.
I'm positive, 100%. Yes.
Thank you. Linda K says thanks you. Thank you. You're everyone's saying thank you. You're a good person. So my point here is to say after all that we just heard about the inappropriateness of law enforcement, of the prosecutor, and of the court and her staff, now we start to realize that not only was Doug Carter pissed off that afternoon at one of our witnesses and scolded her, but he also happened to be hanging out with two of the trolls from YouTube.
Troll Farm members,
Well,
founders, Troll Farm founders.
executive committee, Troll Farm
Mm-hmm.
executive committee, yes.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Mm-hmm.
okay, well, dude, thank you so much. I know that our viewers will appreciate that uh, story from you, and
Mm-hmm.
so consider that. Um, and I'm going to now. I'm going to continue the show
Okay.
and explain a little more about that. But anything else you want to say, or anything to our people?
Yeah. Yeah. I'll just say thank you, Prof. And just my final thing is that was the day that I decided that I was not going to give Doug Carter the portrait that I did for him of him, that I had told him that I would send it to him on the previous time we had met in Miami County at the Kagan Klein sentencing. But that was the day when I decided, you know what, I'm just not gonna do it. Screw him. That's it, Prof. Thank you for having me, and I'll go back on the chat.
Okay, thank you so much, Noe, and we can't wait to talk to you soon. And thanks for the video earlier today. Everyone loved it.
All right, you're
All right,
welcome.
all right. Good night,
Good
Noe.
night. Good night.
Awesome. All right, the wonderful Noe Amos, ladies and gentlemen, Coach Cruz, Coach Cruz there. Um, okay, so what is Doug Carter doing? What is Doug Carter doing? So let's do this. We're going to take a little exploration of these people. Okay. I'm going to show you. This is Jinx 13. Let me tell you something. Okay, so not only do we have all of these actions of the employees of the state, but we have Doug Carter hanging out with some of these people right here. So I'm going to tell you about this you're looking at here. So how do I say it? So I can't tell you which episode, okay? But there's some episode in which I was speculating about Richard Allen, okay? So let me tell you what I was speculating about. Okay. And obviously this would have been May 30th. Oh, see, this is the key because she actually has a date stamp here. This is May 30th, 2023. And this would have been my live show on May 30th, 2023. So you could easily find it and you can see what I was discussing. But I was speculating in that show that I said, well, maybe what Richard Allen's connection to the Delphi murders is that perhaps he was using his position as a pharmacy tech to supply the local meth cooks with precursors, namely pseudoephedrine, using his access to such. Okay, so it's just very odd because I had never experienced anything like this from Jinx 13. But as I'm starting this line of speculation, Jinx 13 starts this, which you can see. She starts going up, basically, every minute, and so she goes nuts, berserker on me. And this was the first time I noticed this kind of behavior. This was when I knew I struck a nerve here. So actually, ever since this day, I've thought that yes, if Alan has any ties to this crime or this gang or this group of people, it probably is through supplying pseudoephedrine, because we do know that Jinx was a Smurf in her younger years. She's clearly explained it to a few friends. That the way you would do things is you would get the pseudoephedrine and you would trade it for cooked up meth from the dealer. So that's how that goes. But here you go. She's telling me I don't know shit about meth. How much of this and CVS and Sudafed. You can see all that. Pharmacist, blah 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 blah. I don't know shit. Blah blah blah. That's a pain clinic. Laughing emojis. Controlled substances. Responsible CVS manager. Blah blah. She's basically losing her mind. And she knew that I was seeing it because as this is going, like my notifications keep going off. She's seeing that I'm being distracted by the notification. So, okay, so that live was May 30th, 2023. You can go back and watch it. Okay, that's what's going on. That's what this was. Okay, so that was my first indication that, hey, wait, I'm not liking this. Okay. Then I discovered this this image here. Now you may notice this has a lot of similarities with some other, for lack of a better term, gangs in the area. Okay, this is Jinx 13 here. Okay, this is another one from Jinx 13. This says, I know he and Frank act like they know Becky so well. I actually do know her because I worked in the school system and I was friends with Dennis Randall's daughter, Nicole. I was her maid of honor. I did meth. My dude I was with at the time was a bigger dealer than I thought. Got into a huge fight and he smashed my 2 fingers, saved the middle one, but lost the index. Never did meth again. Okay. I said, wouldn't it be a bitch if that's why the girls are dead? Meaning meth. Okay. And she says, unfortunately, that's exactly what it's going to be. Well, if you look at the date, this is back in 4/12 of 2023. So this is before the freak out a month later. But so she believes that it is involved in meth, okay, in the meth game. Then she says, Kurtz knows it's coming, and I can't wait for Greeno to go back to jail for making things up and messing with the investigation. Okay. Then we have the next one, Carroll County, man. It's not a good place. They can sugarcoat it all they want, but there's plenty of maggots underneath. I don't know all the names, but there's definitely more than just 1 or 2 people. And I say that my source puts 3 under the bridge. I have that whole list of names in the screenshot down the creek closer to Wilson Bridge. So I'm saying that the 3 people that I believe were the abductors were down closer to Wilson Bridge. And she says, High Bridge is not where it happened at all. Or where it at all happened. Wilson Bridge is what I have understood as the place. My husband works at Subaru. He's a robot tech. We were out there to help for a few hours that night. And I said, yes, read my screenshot. It was in a little makeshift shack near the Wilson Bridge. So hold on. So your husband, the meth dealer, that was a bigger meth dealer than you thought, and that the crime is exactly going to be, that High Bridge is not where it all happened. Wilson Bridge is what I have understood as the place. My husband works at Subaru. He's a robot tech. We were out there to help for a few hours that night. You were out there to help. Well, why are you trolling me like you're losing your mind since May of 2023? Okay. You also know Becky Patty and Dennis Randall, and you were the best maid or whatever at the wedding of Dennis Randall's daughter. Well, here's another one. Here's another one. Because we're going to get into the trolls now. And why is Doug Carter hanging out with these people? Thomas Frost of Bloomington said he had also volunteered his services after 2 girls were found slain near the Monon High Bridge in Delphi. He also recalled the June 2011 disappearance of Lauren Spire, an Indiana University student in his city. So wait up. Why are you trolling me, Jinx and Frost? Why are you both placed out there? Why are you both placing yourselves out there? Because it doesn't matter if you try to retract it now. It doesn't matter what you say now. It doesn't matter what you try to say now. You understand what I'm saying? Okay? This is Chris Long. Jinx, get ready. I'm going to pick her up in Jinx is getting ready. I'm going to pick her up in 15 minutes. Jinx will run the gun while I drive. Hells, yes, I will. Okay? Now, speaking of guns, because this right here is Chris Long, the very individual that we're saying with Jinx, Doug Carter's conversing with on the March 18th hearing, the morning of the March 18th hearing. Now, here's another thing. We're going to discuss the troll farm, not only trolling, but using intimidation tactics, okay? Intimidation tactics, okay? Frank Meister posting his weapon. Jinx posting her weapon. I had Lucille with me at the hearing. Says Frank Meister, had Lucille at the hearing, okay? Oh. Then we got Pet Sitter says, Prof, can you describe to me, I said, can you describe to me what you're talking about? It was a white colored rifle. Looked like it had a scope. I only saw for a short time since Jinx deleted the pic. So what Pet Sitter had told me is that Frost was posting his weapon also, but Jinx kept deleting it. Okay. She says, Thomas put up a pic of his rifle. Jinx took it down. 4 pits kept asking for your address. Others were making comments in between pertaining to your live or stuff from how the doxing wasn't right. Frank came in. Thomas said something to him. Frank showed a pic of his gun. That's what I just showed you. Okay, I'm showing you the gun when they flashed the weapons, okay? The menacing. Frank showed the gun. Thomas showed the gun. Jinx showed the gun. Jinx deleted the gun. Thomas put it back up. Jinx deleted them both and told them to DM the shit and stop showing the guns. And this is the white rifle. You see the white rifle? Quote unquote, it's a shotgun. Okay? And Ruckus puts up the gun. So you see what happens? They're all putting up guns. You see what I'm saying here? They're all putting up guns. Okay, because they're mad at me during a live stream. Okay. Well, then what they come out with is this story. When I call it out, they say, no, we didn't do that because of you. That was a coincidence. It was misinterpreted. Well, until Thomas came behind. And gave up the whole thing. Okay. Thomas came behind and said, We did post those photos in response to your doxing. Get over it. I hope you included that in your documentation. Laughy face, laughy face. So yeah, they posted the photos in response to what they considered my doxing, which was not doxing. Okay. So why do we have these people? This is Tyler Carpenter. This is Tyler Carpenter. My goal is to make him leave totally. It appears the initial goal of making him leave Delphi has been achieved, but it's time to aim higher. Okay, this is when I went away at the end of the year because they had basically stressed me out to the ends of the earth. I couldn't even handle life anymore because of the constant threats, intimidation, and doxing, and death threats, threatening to come to my house, threatening to be down my street, and threatening to kill me in my sleep. Yes, those threats. Because I quit doing shows, the goal is to make him leave totally. So it was to make me leave completely, not just leave Delphi. Okay? Here, Hybrid Pisces, another one. Another one says, he may just disappear slowly, quietly. The choice and journey are his. Yes, that's what the harassers and doxers say. Okay? Then we're going to go to Kathy Clendenning. Kathy says, this is very sad news that he wants to shut down your hard work for the girls. Now, this is in response to Chris Long. Also, September 18th, after the release of the Frank's Memorandum, Chris Long started continuously striking Meow's channel to try to take her down. And Kathy comes to her defense and says, why does he have a vendetta? This is going to try to hurt Galen, a mother who lost her whole world that morning. What's wrong with you, Chris? How can you be so mean and vindictive? Chris Long, why do you run Delphi Strong that bullies other content providers you don't agree with? Don't hide behind your channel. Be brave and stop hiding. Now, this is the guy that Doug Carter is sitting in his truck. Okay, and this is Meow. It's Chris Long and Tyler Carpenter that control everything. They also have access to post to Jinx and Thomas's channels, as well as their own channels. I have a very hard personal boundary with content creators, particularly men on this platform, have been extremely maligned and deceptive. So forgive me if I'm being curt. I've been burned before and trust is earned. I see you're figuring it out. I'll call you later. Congrats on catching up, Mia. Yeah. But are you seeing the names here? I mean, are you getting what we're saying here? It's Chris, Tyler, Thomas, Jinx. I'm sorry this happened to you, Meow, says Noe. Indie Archive is responsible. He thinks we don't know who he is. He should have kept the name Delphi Dirty. Who's he in real life? Chris Long runs Indie Archives and Delphi Strong channel, says Batshit Crazy 5893. Matt Sullivan 3400 says a local who is likely connected with the scum that Indiana investigators are taking down. Well, what is Delphi Dirty? Well, remember? Delphi Dirty. The time has come to hold people accountable. That is that moment. This is that moment. Buckle up, respect others, be accountable. Honor our girls and their survivors. Be kind, Dr. Double D. DelphiDirty@gmail.com. And you see the little Trump with the man bun. It's supposed to be me. Okay. Delphi Strong messages Noe. This is same individual. Cruz, if you are mentioned on this channel and seeking removal, we can consider your request if you make a commitment to not participate in the ongoing attacks on your end. We offer a fresh start program for those who are willing to commit to peace and love. We do not push narratives here. I beg to differ. We only capture what was previously shown on other channels. So all the words and actions are the result of each creator's own behavior. we don't know who Deb and Frank are since they have never been submitted to us. Yes, you do know who Deb Slaughter and Frank Meister are. The Delphi Strong Committee meets tonight at 9 p.m. Central, so we can review your request if you provide more info on what videos you're requesting removal. Thank you, Dr. D. You mean you were going to text to Jinx and Thomas? Is that what you mean? Well, since we're talking about harassment from these people, let's look at some of it. There we go with the names and the faces of yours truly and Noe. And we have Noe and Holly and Prof. Noe and Holly and Prof, just a recurring theme. Okay? And here's some stalking. Here's some real life stalking of Noe and Holly at the courthouse. It's what they always do. Okay, this is the real life stalking. Okay, you're going to see a lot of that. There's a lot of the real life stalking from these people that work for the state of Indiana. We got the real life stalking of Noe and Holly outside of the courthouse and intimidating. We got the real life stalking of Julie Melvin and Noe Amos outside of the courthouse. Fair use. Real life stalking. Using a drone. We got the real life stalking. That's Jinx waiting by Noe's car. Right? That's Jinx waiting for Noe and Holly to come on out. Real life stalking. Captured by the drone. I'm gonna bring you up to date since that's been some while back, you know. So that's been a while back. Lisa McCracken, it's been said that she told 2 people outside the courthouse last week that her marriage was over and that she believed his confessions. She was also observed not wearing a wedding ring. The source is a good source. Yeah, we'll be talking about that. Well, who was the source? It was Jinx 13, staged with Kimberly Stravarkis Withers and Sarah Elrod Osbrook to capture Kathy Allen and Janice, Rick Allen's mother. Stalking behavior. Yes, it was a whole setup. They were staged there just like they always stage in very particular locations. Remember on March 18th when they staged outside of the courthouse in the perfect spot to catch to catch Noe and Snay fighting, a fight that they had instigated. Remember, if you go back and watch my Snay episode, he tells you that Jinx and Frost were the 2 who were instigating not only the doxing, but the fighting with Noe and me. So what is this? What is this? This is a transcript of a YouTube video. Okay, well, what does this say? I spoke with Matt Sullivan and he lied. He lied. Everything he said. Crime scene photos were distributed in Discord, but he was not technically inclined to tell me what kind of Discord. And that's why I thought you have to be Reg's, right? Since that's one's gone now, but it's not really gone. Everybody just got booted, so it's still there. Coach is up live right now, so I talked to a lot of people that was in Reg Tyler's Discord. I'm not sure how many got to see those crime images, but we know that Tyler joined the same Facebook group the same day that that Mr. Robert Fortson Tyler also joined the Facebook and talked to Robert. What's in Discovery? That's a coincidence. He can be tied into Ivy League, allegedly. And then they mentioned Mark here. And it says Mark is not a good guy. Well, listen, little Frankie, you're right. Okay, Reg's Discord. Why do you think it was deleted? Who is Reg? Tyler Carpenter. Okay. Do you realize Tyler Carpenter, crime scene photos, Mark Cohen, crime scene photos, Thomas Frost, crime scene photos, Jinx with the stalking, Chris Long with the stalking, Doug Carter with the leaks, Big Sauls with the leaks, Bossy. I know where this picture was taken, at the Eagles in Peru. Okay, look at it. Look at it. Because we're talking about the people who have been doing this for these people, for the state. Well, what do you know? Who took a picture of the eagles in Peru right at the time of the murders? Can you explain this one to me? Julian Powell. Why would you take a picture of the eagles in Peru? So I say, Jinx, Chris, and Bossy cannot control themselves. Tyler Carpenter says, I know. I said, okay, they're all fair game. We're going to war. He says, it has nothing to do with me. I'm fine with that, and I will still tell them to stop. Okay? I've showed you this before. Crime scene photos leak. Okay, this is Meow tipping into Doug Carter, November 21st, 2023. In February 2023, I received a number of communications from individuals, namely Chris Long and Thomas Frost, claiming to have been given crime scene evidence and photographs from Delphi and Florida cases. This individual went by the name of Mark Robert Cohen. I voiced my ethical concerns with the photos and denounced sharing the images. From February to March 2023, I have several communication with these individuals since. I have severed. Sorry. I did not personally investigate the individual disseminating these images, and I did not disseminate them. However, they were adamant that this came from local law enforcement. Do you understand what this receipt is saying? Crime scene evidence and photographs from both Delphi and Flora coming from local law enforcement. The photos and screenshots are attached. Most concerning were claims that they had photos of dead girls from Flora on the floor of the fire department, a detail that was not publicly disclosed. Again, the leaker claimed to be from law enforcement, and I immediately reported this to local law enforcement and Flora Volunteer Fire. Okay, well, that's interesting, because where's that other one? Where's that other one? Would law enforcement condone that? I didn't put them there. Yeah, but what is the purpose of posting a video of that? Video of what? The girls on the floor? Of the fire department. Yeah, says Meow. I haven't posted anything like that, says Chris Long. Only a snippet from the video in the fire station and ambulance, but you can't see the girls, says Chris Long. You don't understand half of the picture. Videos of a victim of a homicide is literally posting it for a killer. I am not posting videos of the victims. Wait, but you have it. Moving on to Mark Cohen. The pistol is definitely true, says Mark Cohen. What witnesses, for goodness sake? The other two men's families, other two men, the others who may be involved. It makes no sense to me. People don't murder in groups very often. I doubt he has two friends. Again, it's not what happened. It's what happened after. Murder, staging, distribution. And then you have Turbo. You have Turbo, who's one of these people. Okay? Please help spread the word. The conspiracy theorists are at it again. That's us. There's a full cross-platform spread of misinformation like wildfire on Facebook, YouTube, Reddit, and X. This woman did not deserve this. This pertains to the filing by Nick McClellan yesterday regarding psychologist Dr. Monica Walla and several threads on Reddit and a YouTube live performed by Angela Sedlowski from the defense witness list for contempt hearing. This poor woman has the unfortunate circumstance of being Monica Walla. Angela, come on. Tammy, let's be real here. This is not Dr. Manakawala. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. This is Dr. Manakawala, young lady. All right. Now, let's continue. So what do these people do? They try to make you kill yourself. How do I know? Watch. Chris Long to Jinx. Lauren is going to fucking explode. I can feel it brewing. She won't be able to handle this. What does that mean? What does that mean? This is who Doug Carter is hanging out with. These people here in these screenshots. Just logged into Prof's Discord for the whatever in 5 months. I just realized I'm in there. I'm reading it. Yeah, let me see those members. You see what they started doing? They went and they stalked every member in my Discord, screenshot it, and started causing discord in the Discord. You know how they do it. You know how they do it. Me and Reg, that's Tyler Carpenter, talking privately. He seems to agree that Lauren might be suspect. Tyler Carpenter is good peeps, says Jinx. Chris, tomorrow at the cookout. Yeah, you remember the Troll Farm Executive Committee meeting. Let's get this shit handled. Let's see what we have to do to send it in and just fucking do it. We can all file restraining orders together. Do you know who Reg is? He's a good person, lives in Michigan. We've bonded over this prof stuff. Yes, trying to have the prof kill himself was definitely a bonding experience, wasn't it, Thomas? He's Archlux on YouTube. All right. Oh, look at this one. Here they're stalking Holly Lowry. She's in Peru. There's a parade. Yeah, I figured she's suggesting she's stalking Snay or meeting with Lauren. If she were really an indie, she would show a picture. She don't look so cute when she's trying to be extra tough. It's all comical at this point. Laugh. I'm going to try to get somebody to snap a picture of her at the Peru parade. Yeah, I remember the stalking. That would be hilarious. She looks like a complete moron. That would be awesome. I hope I can find somebody. Somebody can find her and get a picture. Courtney says, "Oh yeah, like I'm a victim of pictures of guns being shown on somebody's Discord that didn't have anything to do with me, but somehow that threatened me." No, it did have something to do. I just show Thomas admitted that it had everything to do with me. Bossy, I've got about 3 girls trying to see if they can snap a picture, says Jinx. Bossy and 2 others local in Peru. Oh, so they're stalking her at the parade to try to get pictures. Here they're talking about Lauren. I'm not filing a civil case just yet, but I'm sure it will probably get there because I don't think she's going to stop. But if she continues and we can prove who she is, there will be criminal charges. The only way she will stop is if she kills herself. She will harass us from prison if she's still alive. Is this wishing that she kills herself? Yeah, she's going to get pushed over the edge today and get herself caught up in some trouble. And ain't nobody going to hide her hair of her tomorrow with it at the cookout, whatever. I think she needs a welfare check. Oh, this is called swatting. This is called swatting, ladies and gentlemen. I think she needs a welfare check, says Chris Long. That's swatting. This is the part where you're discussing the swatting. So you've discussed causing her to commit suicide. Now you're going to the point of swatting. Okay. Okay, well, let's continue then. Jinx, darling, I'm a manager. I know how to manage people. Matter of fact, I offered to mod for Snay. I will not be commenting, but I'll bounce bitches out. The other mods would see it's me, but I'm sure they'll keep quiet. If not, I'll stop bouncing people. So she's a people manager. She's got 3 girls at the parade trying to photograph Holly. Okay, and now she's trying to manage the chat for Snay, bouncing bitches out who go against her narrative. But if the other mods see, it's cool. But if they say something, she'll stop. Oh, let's talk about some sources. Chris Long says he's releasing some info. His sources tell him Libby's phone left the scene and came back. Well, sounds like the source knows what they're saying. Oh, here we go with Chris Long again. I think Boogie Lauren. I don't think Boogie would ever show her face, but she could definitely run her mouth. If she starts being a problem, we will put some pressure on her. Nobody sleeps well at night with blacked out SUVs parked outside their house. You know, the one Doug Carter got in and got out, and drones hovering overhead. Is that called stalking and harassment? In collusion with law enforcement? Don't worry, it gets worse. Prof is deleting a lot of the comments that were attacking Lauren the other day. He is loving comments as well, so he is still alive. Of course, he loved and left the ones doxing me up, so he hasn't learned his lessons yet, says Chris Long. So what's the lesson? I'm still alive? I'm still alive? Is that the lesson, Chris Long? Of course I'm still alive, dickhead. So I haven't learned my lesson. Okay. So you're here to teach me lessons, fat ass? Oh, look, it's Chris Long and Thomas and Jinx talking about Rick just dropped his name as you sent that. Snaydocs. I commented that Prof's mod has been harassing us for months just to shut them up. Didn't name her. We won. It's over. If he's smart, he'll shut the fuck up. Yes, this is called harassment and intimidation using doxing. Okay. And Mark Cohen was involved in this project. Mark Cohen got the information, handed it to Thomas, who handed it to Snay. And Snay has told the whole story on the record. We won. It's over. If he's smart, he'll shut the fuck up. Jinx says, I'm waiting for the rage. Yes, because causing me emotional distress is hilarious, isn't it? He might just drop off the face of the earth. What does that mean, die? Does that mean die? Hope so. What else can he do? He's already been outed as a liar. I think we know who the liars are now, Thomas. I mean, this is black and white. Fuck boy. But it wasn't just me. Okay, it wasn't just me. Wife Lilith says, no, let's keep Thomas in this because Thomas, how did you first hear of me? Snay? After I commented on one of your lives, Snave came in behind me and asked you to look for me in person in the papers for Scotty's search. I have everything reported with law enforcement. You later edited the video taking out you looking through the papers and you telling people that you only looked because Snay told you I have mental problems because I called you out on Snay asking you to look for it. You know it's true. Eventually all this will be going to court. Noe, what Snay is doing is a hate crime. He repeatedly talks about your language and mimicking you. Why else would he ever come after you? Unless it's because you defend me, which I've not been able to repay you. One day I will. Not many had my back, but the entire world is attacking me. I told you I don't know if I could trust you before, and I was honest about it with you. But I've never done anything to ever help anyone harass you or Prof. I would and never have. I respect you. Stay strong. Yeah, so that's Thomas stalking Holly in real life at the search for Scotty Morris. More from her. If I remember right, it was March 2023. I had to file 3 police reports on Thomas Frost because Snay asked him to look for my name at the search for missing kids, Scotty Morris. Remember, Thomas Frost is the one who introduced Snay to Mark Cohen. Also, Frost never knew Snay until Snay asked Frosty to look for my name on the list after Snay seen me mention I was going to be at the search on Thomas's live that morning. Snake claimed he didn't know my name in the emails he sent me in January 2023 and February 2023. Remember, he was requesting to give my daughter's name to him. So Snake didn't get my info until March the same month. Brandon got arrested. Coincidence? I think not. All right, so right now this case is turned upside down, says Melanie Susie Hardsaw. Both Noe and Prof have been naming names a lot. Yes, because that's what we're here to do. They are really insane. No, we're not. Bossy Bitchalante. I submitted evidence against Prof, Holly, Noe, and Julie Melvin back in January. And this is the exact reason. What fucking evidence? What do you have that's law enforcement worthy? Because we know what we have. Isn't this justice? This isn't justice. I mean, who is the secret source who can get in trouble for giving info to Deb True Crime Notebook that hadn't been released? Why would they get in trouble? Justice for the families means you don't choose friends over telling the truth. Damn right, Holly. I gave you the benefit of doubt on the old obit situation. Oh, you remember the same one Deb Slaughter was also involved in, and these people I've just named? And posted, and you knew who it was and wouldn't tell me. Yes, that's right, Deb. That's why we're pissed with you. When I asked you nicely, but hiding info from law enforcement on who is leaking is wrong, Deb Slaughter, and it makes you an accomplice when you are disseminating info clearly on Reddit and on your page. I expected better. I think most would from Deb's True Crime Notebook. Hopefully you talk to law enforcement about this source for Abby and Libby and their families. That's the right thing to do, especially since you acknowledge you shouldn't have been privy to the info you shared in August of 2023. Those leakers didn't care about you, Deb, or they wouldn't have put you in this position to keep a fucking secret on two innocent children, Deb Slaughter. Normal Pizza 1527. I don't know. One YouTuber I watched was asked today, and she said she can't say who her sources are because they could get in trouble. I took that to mean they are either close to the case or possibly members of the press who are sitting on it until given the okay, or law enforcement. Which YouTuber was it? It was Deb's True Crime Notebook. But it wasn't in a video, it was on her community page. Thank you very much. Nobody's giving sources, but a few people on Reddit and Facebook are saying it's confirmed. The one person saying cooperation confirmed, but accomplices are not confirmed. Tyler Carpenter, aka Reg Dunlop, talking about writing mine and Noe's obituaries. Why would Miss Deb True Crime Notebook cover for Tyler Carpenter? I asked her so nicely, would she please tell me who did it? She said, no way, I'd rather you dead than lose my source on the YouTube streets. And she gave no second fucks to me or my kid's safety. Great job, little Debbie. What's odder is Reg, that's Tyler Carpenter, is close to Tommy Frost and this specific leaker who was the one who sent Tahara images. Tyler, you should introduce yourself to me. Are these names starting to become repetitive? Meanwhile, Bella admits that fucking T-Bam, that's Tyler Carpenter, and Ruckus sent her the pics. Well, Nick, Frank's Pictures had ISP's trademark black squares and rectangles. So what? He told Holman his sources were Kathy Clendenning and Ruckus Rocks. Nick claims it all started with the defense. None of them care who it went to after that. Is this shit making sense to you? She told you she got them from Tyler Carpenter. And who is he? I don't know. What the fuck? What effort did you make to find the source of the photos, Tyler Carpenter? At that time, we weren't interested in all the people that had them because we believed we've already located the source. Zero effort to investigate Tyler. Here's another one. This is a screenshot that Tara sent me. That's Meow. It's her, Thomas Frost, Chris Long, and Jinx Courtney. I know Silky is not okay with this. Her name is Lily. She's very perplexed when I showed her this and wondered why she was brought up. Were they trying to recruit her? And on this live stream tonight, I backed them into a corner because why are they lying? Because they are lying. And I got them to admit that they are not speaking on behalf of Galen. By what Thomas Frost is Facebook messaging me now, I have concerns that the whole bank account issue is in regards to kicking Tara out so they could transfer money easier. And this all started, too, by Thomas asking her, that's Meow, not to say anything about Mark Robert and his GoFundMe. I'll just skip these. You can read them yourself. Screenshot now. I'm skipping them. This is where Murder Sheet comes in. You see it? Okay. News Nation. Mark Roberts has been a pain in the ass in Delphi case for years. He constantly seeks attention, and boy, did he get it. So these two and a boy, and they are getting it in the very near future. The family of deceased man, I hope they lawyer up against these two. These two are in for a big surprise over their reporting practices. Okay. $2,000 were anonymously added to the GoFundMe of the man. That was from Tyler Carpenter, who sent these photos to Murder Sheet the day they received them. Then they monetized them, inserted themselves into the case, and lapped up the publicity. Now the case is in jeopardy. They must be investigated and prosecuted. They claim they brought screenshots of the conversation between the man who sent them and his source to the police. Did they also bring screenshots of their conversations with that man? Guessing not. Unsolicited. $2,000 forked over. They probably see that as a bargain for free advertising. All right, we'll quickly go through this. Here we go with, per their own admission, Mark is one of their sources regarding Murder Sheet. Someone who knows them well enough to send them photographs of dead children, and they will turn around and say he's a good man and just wanted to plug the leak. Mark is a pathological liar who on Reddit has gone by Funko Cohen 87 and Dread Pirate 33. In reality, he's a true crime predator, blah, 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 blah. Okay, the amount of information I have on scams he's running people is outrageous. He's a pathological liar and a true crime predator out to make money, giving desperate people and slimy broadcasters information they are seeking. Somehow managed to leave a 4-tour war veteran with a wife and a young daughter who dead in his wake. Disgusted, I'm disgusted. All the while, he starts a GoFundMe on September fucking 19th. That's the day of the memo, to raise $3,000 to supplement his income for taking a few fucking days off work for a full-paid Make-A-Wish Foundation trip to Disneyland. Dead veteran donated $500. A journalist engulfed in the fraudulent controversies with the New York Times that frequently commented back and forth with Mark on Reddit, and also friendly with Murder Sheet, also donated $200. And then on the day Murder Sheet apparently was given this information and photos, there was an anonymous $2,000 donation that Little Frankie said is from Tyler Carpenter. This emergency episode put out by our favorite podcasters was a cover your ass episode, trying to get ahead of the narrative that will eventually come out. And they did so. They sure did. Been trying to explain this to people for over a year now. What a smart girl. They are mean-spirited and hateful people out to destroy anyone and call everyone who threatens and expose who they really are. Whatever. Mark Robert is like their little malignant love child. Stay woke, friends. The hole they dug themselves is entirely too deep. And you all have no idea how much this post means to so many people who have been trying to show, not tell, what morons Murder Sheet have been from the beginning. I'm copying a comment made on Defense Diaries about what I think happened. Whoa, let's back up the train to the infamous Vito interview that put them on the map. I confess originally I almost bought the clerk made a mistake and it was filed unsealed. Bullshit. His real job as a law clerk for the past 20 years, spending a great deal of time doing the research and using that system, he knows the employees. I assume he's on friendly terms for a long time. I thought someone had given them a heads up. Now I sincerely believe these two dupes have been groomed by law enforcement. who has used them as an unofficial mouthpiece to promote their POI and disparage their critics. That's the theme of our show tonight, and an admirable sentence 721 is hitting it out of the fucking park. Holman has been the secret source bag man since the beginning. They have always claimed that their source is from the highest level in the investigation, and Holman struck gold when he found the gruesome twosome I affectionately refer to as Shrek and Fiona, stolen from one of Crime Night's rants. Yes, peeps, police do this shit. They use people and media and YouTubers to advance their case. We're almost done, y'all. We're almost done. Just a moment. I'd also like you to see this. Speaking of stalking, this is another Chris Long. Okay, this is another Chris Long stalking Hennessy, Skip, Julie Melvin. You see? I didn't want to leave out that important piece of stalking there. Sorry about that. I hope you guys are keeping up with what's being said tonight. It's important. It's important here. Okay. This is not an attack on any of these individuals. This is an attack on the state players or actors who are doing this. Now, here we have Bossy. We're going to get into Bossy just Bossy claims to be someone representing the victims of some crime. Don't forget to tell Prof he told someone representing the victims and families F you on a live stream. Yeah, you. I said F you, Bossy. And no, he got in my face not once but twice in the courtroom. Yes, after you stared him down with death stares. Yeah, that's you. Well, let's take a look at you, because I would like to know why you can't just accept the L when I said F you, get out of my live stream, and gaslighting in my chat. You couldn't just let it go? What's wrong with letting that go? Because we're about to see that you couldn't let it go. And you claim to be a victim's advocate or representing victims? You claim to be representing victims. This is victims representation? What is this? Let's take a close look at who Bossy likes to victimize. It seems like there's a running theme here, doesn't there? Let's see. It's the Prof, Noe, Meow. Oh, okay. Even more. The Prof, Noe, Meow. Oh, look, Holly, the Prof, the Prof, Noe, Meow. I'd like to draw your attention to the bottom center here. Notice that Jinx and Chris Long were stationed perfectly, absolutely perfectly, that like they always do. They were pre-positioned to document Snay and Noe's scuffle. You see that? You see that? And there you have Gambies. So right there you have Gambies, and you have the guy from the news station, and you have Snay and Noe. So you're sensing a theme here. You get it? Oh, look, even more. Oh, look, they went back 15 years and found a photo of a young Prof. What kind of obsession is this? What kind of obsession is this? Even more. Shit, this is just August. This is just early August. Okay, this is early August. This is not long ago. Look here. Videos of Noe. Videos harassing the prof here. This is a cameo. Okay, harassing the prof. And we have Precascent, the sex worker, Precascent down at the bottom. Oh my God, worth every penny. You think so? You think it's worth every penny, Precascent? You think it's worth every penny? So do I, Precascent. This will be invaluable in the future. Because what you refuse to hear, people will not refuse to hear. Their agenda on here is truth. Oh, here we go. Look, even more. Oh, you got this guy, Drunk Jesus. You got Drunk Jesus. You got Drunk Jesus. How many videos? Harassing prof. Hope it was worth every penny. I really do. Oh, and you got Noe. You got Noe. You got Noe. And you got Prof. You got Prof AI face onto the church lady. Okay. So when have you seen us do this? Okay, when have we been doing this all over the YouTube community and all over the Delphi community? When have we been doing this, Bossy? Miss Victims Advocate. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Obsessed much? Like, you see the dates here? September 13th. Was that a couple weeks ago? Obsess much? Do we? Do we obsess much? Huh, Bossy? Precascent? Do we obsess much over Prof and Noe? Is there a problem here? I mean, where are we doing this to these ladies on the internet? So coming full circle, it's enough of this. I think you all get the point. I think you all get the point. We're going to come full circle to Mr. ACV, dropping another good one. Pattern here is the key word. Notice the MO is exactly the same as with your channel. In this case, channel A authorizes use of their drone footage, which is quite good, on channel B through private email. This is discussing the Chris Long and Meow debacle that happened immediately after the dropping of the Franks memorandum. I don't believe the timing is accidental. When channel B goes outside of the boundaries of permissible speech, the automated copyright stress system is used by channel A, Chris Long, to strike channel B, Meow, because the automation does not have a way to account for agreements related to usage of the footage outside of the platform. Because this system is automated and built for global scale across hundreds of thousands, or what is that? Actually, millions of users, hundreds of millions of users. Recourse is extremely time consuming for channel B. That's Meow. And she fought a good fight. She fought the hard fight every single time. Likely involving the removal of channel content, which happened, and exorbitant amounts of time to rebuild that content, and or abandoning the channel, being scared off certain topics or off the platform altogether. That's what happened to her. Demoralization of the creator, or worse, chasing away the audience. That also happened, because that's happened with me as well, because the channel is dealing with creator versus creator drama, which is actually state-induced trolling against creator drama. That's what it is. Let's be clear. Let's use specific words, ACV. The copyright strikes are accompanied by creator-creator feuds, flame wars in comments, flying monkeys in chat. That's called troll farm. Personal allegations, yes, the prof's a child molester, etc. Noe rapes women in Wabash or wherever. Threats to reveal less than great aspects of a creator past. Yeah. Mobbing, yes. Doxing, yes. Online threats, yes. Cyberbullying, yes. Triggering less than flattering actions. In real life threats, yes. Threaten to kill us. I haven't even put up there for you all the death threats, because I've already showed them to you all. And being featured in gaslight channels like Vicarious Vigilantes and Delphi Strong, yes. And Delphi Dirty and Delphi Dummies and Delphi Dimwits and fucking Ashley Shaven. Everything that Chris Long, Thomas Frost, Mark Cohen, Jinx 13, and Bossy and Aspen Connor and all of these assholes produce. Gaslight channels like this pretend to be exposing grifters and trolls and conspiracy theorists. Yes, like all of these channels I just mentioned and Turbo. But they only target a small, very specific number of channels. You've just seen our faces. Meow, The Prof, Holly Lowry, Noe, who cover certain topics. Yes, the meth gangs, Keegan Klein and the Dropbox. And avoid the obvious mega grift of Anthony Greeno and professional trolls like Ruckus Rocks and Sleuth Intuition. The exception is Curly, who's just natural troll bait. He trolls himself and clowns in every video. I can confirm this is what happened with Meow's channel. With the Prof's channel, I recall Channel A proactively offered for the Prof to use Channel A's B-roll via private email. Yes, he did the same. Chris Long did the same thing to me he did to Meow. He offered me the footage to try to trap me into some control situation. The Prof somehow recognized this as a trap and avoided it. I could not believe this type of devious creator versus creator behavior was possible at the time. But actions since then have confirmed this. A few questions. A, what were the topics that led to these attacks on Meow by someone considered to be a friend, and why now? Well, the attacks were the Vinlanders and the meth gangs and the motorcycle clubs and possible retribution against Derek German for him snitching to the feds. That's exactly what she was talking about, and exactly what Prof was talking about when all the attacks started. And the fakery of all the digital evidence. When asked this question, Meow stated, "You are allowed to be an advocate, but not an activist," which is an interesting distinction. What does this mean? That means you can only advocate for the narrative that law enforcement is putting across. You cannot be an activist against the actions of law enforcement. That's what that means, and that is Chris Long's mantra. Have other channels been shut down or chased away using similar tactics? In my opinion, yes. Yes. Let's think over the years, who all has this group of people for law enforcement run off of these platforms? Geez, let's think about all the creators who have abandoned this. Let's think about the ones who were trolled into oblivion. And let's think about how these people collectively have nearly 100 accounts. You don't think that they collectively used those 100 accounts to run off these other creators who were very good creators? True Crime Jesus, twice. The Captain Howdy, AASB, that's Raffi, admittedly a French theorist with some sketchy claims in my opinion. Shattered Mirror, okay, there may be some other things going on there that led to the implosion of that channel, says ACV. Unroyal, who seems to be back under another channel name as Unroyal, The Prof, and Clutch, who only posts occasionally now, all come to mind. Dozens of others have come and gone, but off the top of my head, these are the ones that seem to have been deliberately targeted for going too far outside the bounds of accepted mainstream law enforcement narrative. D, what do these channels have in common? Well, let's see. I don't know. We all question the family. We all question if law enforcement is being honest here. We all question the various suspicious evidence that has been put across, like the various witnesses, the family members that were out there that day, and the weird ass digital evidence like the fucking Photoshops, the Snapchats, and all that shit. Why would these creators be targeted? I have a few theories, but I will save those for another time. This is just my personal experience and opinion based on information from the public internet. Thank you, ACV. And that will do it for the presentation tonight. So yeah. How do we put this? The unacceptable. The absolute criminal and inappropriate behavior of the representatives of the state of Indiana in collusion with various podcasters and YouTubers in an effort to steer the narrative surrounding the Delphi murders, i.e. the fix is in, folks. Okay? That's what this was. We didn't make it up. It's not baseless accusations. Just understand, I've only showed you the tip of the iceberg. I showed you 200 screenshots. I have 20,000. Probably a third of those are trolling. Okay? We just don't get on here and run our mouths. We don't just go down here and say what the law enforcement is saying. Because look, I've said before, I would love for this to be that simple. I would love for it to be that. I would just love for Richard Allen to be the lone wolf killer of Abby and Libby, and this all be done and over and cleaned up and with a nice fucking bow on it, tied there. But it's not. It's not. If everything else we've presented in prior episodes doesn't raise the red flags for you, surely this must. Why is Doug Carter hanging out with these folks? Why are these folks doing what they're doing to the extent that they are doing it? Who else have they victimized and ran off of this platform and other platforms for merely spreading information? These are opinions. Why are we not allowed to have a differing opinion? That's really heartbreaking because the way that I like to summarize it is like this. And all of this over the murders of 2 little girls. What kind of evil is that? Those 2 little girls are not saved, are not served by this sort of nastiness and chaos and hate. If you want to serve those girls, speak love. If you disagree, fine. Say what you think. And allow others to say what they think. None of this is going to bring those girls back, but you sure are disrespecting their memory by doing what you're doing. Doug Carter, Nick McClelland, Francis Gull and employees, Steve Mullen, Tobe Lesenby, Jerry Holman. You guys must be smoking fucking crack. You're worse than the meth heads that you're protecting. Because no one uses their authority and power to hurt people like this. A real man knows that the stronger you are, the more gentle you must be. Thank you, Kathy S. That's a beautiful, thank you for the support. Everyone, please support the channel. But when you're powerful, you have to be delicate. Today, my son and I were outside playing with the praying mantis that we found in the bushes. And I was teaching him how to be uber delicate with the creature in order to not break the legs or hurt it at all, so that it can reproduce. And I explained that to him. So that it can reproduce and we can have baby praying mantises in the spring. When you're strong, you have to be delicate and gentle. And when you're behind a badge, you're working for the state, you're an official, You should be moving delicately. This is not delicate. I'd like to thank you all for bearing with that 3-hour presentation. I know it was long. And like I said, we're not attacking the people doing it. They're unhinged. They're mentally unwell. They're angry. They're users, abusers, trying to get clicks. I don't know. There's all kind of reasons that they would do it. Like I said at the beginning of the show, street cred, whatever it is that they're trying to do. They're useful idiots for these people. So what you really have to do, and what we are, the feet that we are holding to the fire, are these sources. Okay? Who's in the sheriff's office that's doing this? Who's in the judge's chambers who's doing this? Who's in the prosecutor's office that's doing this? Who's in the Indiana State Police that's doing this? Because that's the crime. So if we're going to make a big deal out of anything in these streets, that should be the big deal. And that's my opinion. This case is far too complicated. There's far too much to discuss to be dealing with the state trying to kill us, so to speak, silence us. It's too much. So I hope this had meaning to you and was of value. I thank you so much, Gina. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, Thierry. Thank you so much, Gina Baudet. You're an awesome person, especially on Facebook. I see you all the time on Facebook. Thank you, Kayla. Listen, because I understand, like for the longest, this was the criticism. Prof, stop fighting the trolls. No one wants to see the drama, and no one could understand it. You don't understand what you witnessed. Maybe you do now. You witnessed a year and a half of state-sponsored terrorism. I mean, basically. What's up, Tech Death Hippie? Yeah, state-sponsored doxing, harassment, trolling, death threats, stalking in real life. And like I said, you go backwards. Watch the previous 5 lives. And watch the next 5. There's so much. Like, this is not what it's supposed to be. These people should be absolutely ashamed. They are exposed. If you watch the beginning of the show and you don't understand that Nick McClelland and Judge Gold's office and Doug Carter and Jerry Holman, they are all exposed, then you need to go rewatch it. But see, I don't want to be here talking about that. I want to be here talking about Derek German and all of his dealers he was supplying, every single one of them. I want to be talking about all of the snitching he was going to be doing. I want to be talking about every single person connected to Tina Rodell, Gabe Ellis, Blaine Nelson, of Anna Williams, and the whole crew that was selling dope for Derek German. That's what I want to be hitting on, okay? I want to be hitting on the meth dealers. I believe it's a meth-involved crime. I've always believed it was a meth-involved crime. I believe the girls walked into it and got murked out there. I've always believed this case centers around meth. I've always suspected the family knows that and is hiding it. Okay? So yeah, I mean, Christy Lynn Martin, Jamie Cheshire, Brenda Marchand, Garrett Kurtz, Ashley Garth, Ashley Wright, Troy Clendenning, Anna Williams, Jennifer Johnson, Shane Toole, all the Babcocks, O'Briens, the Praters, Altings. Everyone that Tina Rodell and Megan Allen named. Tyler Joe French. That's what I want to be talking about, but it was necessary tonight to show you. It was very necessary to show you this, because you have to understand these people are inappropriately colluding with the state. I mean, Jesus, you had Doug Carter sitting right there in their vehicle. And later that day, like I said, he bit the head off of one of our witnesses. Scolded her. The leaks, all of them, going back years. The doxing, harassment, threats, intimidation, trolling. Will the state of Indiana bear the brunt of the lawsuits for that behavior? Anyhow, I appreciate you very much for joining this channel and this chat tonight. I wish more joined the chat, and I wish I could discuss more. I'm starting to get tired here. Thanks, Prof, for opening my eyes. There's so many names that I actually feel shook. Well, like I said, you can go back and read it. Go back several episodes. I think we've done like past 5 or 10 episodes have been really information packed, and this one as well. There's a lot to look at. I mean, this, when people say the whole county is lying, they say that for a reason. And I think maybe you've seen a little evidence tonight. Okay. So yeah, we will be getting back into it with Alex Voorhees again. We're going to talk some more about some stuff with Alex. And hey, huge announcement to make, by the way. Huge announcement. Everyone who's still here, please listen up for this one. Friday, the very next show we do, is going to be an incredible feature presentation, one-on-one interview with retired Master Trooper Joe Swisher of the Indiana State Police. He's going to be going into detail with us about his very, I guess, intense experience in March of 2017, merely less than a month after the murders. He visited the trails and visited the mirrors, and he's going to come on Friday's show, and he's going to give us an interview about his experiences then, and everything that he came away with, and what he came away feeling, and what he feels today at this very moment. And I think you'll be very surprised by his thoughts. Remember, this is not some some first-year rookie cop out of Delphi Police Department. This is retired Indiana State Police Master Trooper Joe Swisher. One of the loved cops from the area. So Mr. Joe, retired Master Trooper Joe, will be here Friday. He's committed to do it. He's looking forward to it. He's very excited about that, and so am I. So if you guys want to hear the story of his expert law enforcement opinion on these murders, tune in Friday. And you may already know that we feel that the basic, we've been calling it the triangle theory, is our basic kind of theory, but basically that there's a larger crime scene than is believed, and that this very large crime scene is basically the whole Deer Creek area around there, and 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 maybe Joe believes that it's a little further on the sexual side. I believe it's closer to the meth side, but we both believe those girls were intentionally victimized and left there intentionally in a very brutal fashion, and that they were transported around the area, and that the devices left the bridge, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So you'll be hearing more about that. And, I'm going to be debating him on the meth theory versus the sexual predation theory. But yeah, that's for Friday. So everyone here, please do that. And one more thing. If you had missed the video we uploaded today, please go back and watch it. And I'll post it now because I'd like you to please at least save it to watch later. It's an amazing video. If you've never been, I always recommend people go to Delphi and visit the area for their own education and insight purposes. But if you'd go and look at this video, this will give you the closest you can get. And it's a feel good video because it's like being there with Four Pits and Noe. It's like being there in the canoe with them and walking around the trails. So please go see this video here and click the link and hit to save to watch later, whatever it is. Go watch that video. It's only 50 minutes long, and it's in a good quality where you can see well, you can hear well, and you'll get some insight to the Deer Creek area. So anyway, cheers, you guys. Love you guys as always. Again, please support the channel through all of our various funding pathways. We need the funding because I've been working full-time on this for 2 years. That's right. I've been sucking off my retirement. I've been living off my savings and dedicating myself fully to this for 2 years. And like I said, when I do a show, it's 3 hours, but you don't understand the 300 hours that for every 3 hours. So, the amount of conversations. You ask me how I get all the information I dig up. Well, it's from hours and hours and hours and hours of work every single day. So please support the channel for that reason financially, and also hit the thumbs up because that pushes it out to more people to see it who search for Delphi murders. And maybe a lot of people searching Delphi don't know about this channel. So anyhow, cheers to you all. Let me say thank you to you guys on the way out. Yeah, please support the channel. Thank you, Amy. Let's see, we got Heather Brown says, what I seen sure looked peaceful. It was nice, wasn't it, Heather? Gina says, it's wholesome, easy to watch. Yeah, it's very nice to sit there with Four Pits. Excellent footage. Well, thank you, True Grit Crime. Okay. Recoil says, Noe and Josh did an amazing job scouting that area and showing the creek. Sure did. Although keep in mind, they didn't walk the floor or they didn't walk the ground at Wilson Bridge, but I have another video doing that. If you're interested in Wilson Bridge, I have a couple old videos walking Wilson Bridge that I also recommend, Go look at those because you'll see. Let me see. Well, here's one. Here's one that I like. I have a few, but just go into my old history and you'll find a lot of stuff. But here's another one. This one right here is the Wilson Bridge walking around. And as you know, this is where I think the crime scene actually is. So there you go. Anyway, Oh, no, he said meth and sex goes hand in hand. All right. It was Thomas Pinkard or Jeff Pink. I don't know. It was, yeah, I know who you're talking about. I can't remember the name at the moment. But yeah. Oh, good to hear about Joe. Yeah, Joe's coming back. So you guys come back Friday for Joe. He's excited to tell his story. We talked for quite a while yesterday. So, all right. So, all you guys, that's as far as back as I'm going to go. All right. Yeah, you guys please enjoy the footage on the channel. I've got plenty of drone footage of Delphi as well. You know that. You've probably seen it if you've been here for a while. I took a lot of drone footage of Delphi and of the Wilson Bridge area and the High Bridge area. But anyway, thanks everyone for being here. And I'll say my goodbyes to you now. You know how I like to do it. I want to say goodbye to Miss Haunted Parlor. Thank you for being here. Marilyn Monroe, Sandy D, Nancy Drew 101, Heather Brown, Kayla, Jamie, Amy, Granny D, Lisa, Commentator Root, Housebroken. All right. Noe Amos, of course. Gina Bodette, the amazing Gina Bodette. Carol, True Grit Crime, Recoil, Dick Redshirt. Who else is here? Oh, Tech Death Hippie. Yeah, thanks for coming in, Tech Death Hippie, tonight. Who else we have here? Linda K. Johnson. Beautiful Linda K. Johnson was here earlier. Thank you for being here. Linda K. Kathy S. was here. Thank you so much again, Kathy S., for the support. Thank you, Kathy. Sandy D. Of course, Kayla. Or probably already said that. Skip was here. What's up, Skip? Yeah, hopefully he's still listening. JoJo was here. I missed you, JoJo. Thank you so much for a great live prop. Thank you, mods. Have a good evening. Everyone stay safe. All right. Thank you so much, JoJo. Okay. Oh, you're talking about Open Secrets. Yeah, you guys also don't forget about the Open Secrets channel. Remember, I think this is a meth crime. I think Kurtz and Mathis and Garth and Nick Edwards and all of that crew in those Open Secrets interviews are highly important. Those are very important interviews. If you've never seen the Open Secrets channel, go find the Open Secrets channel. Type in Open Secrets, Delphi. Open Secrets Delphi. And you're going to find a playlist entitled, what is it called? It's called something Garrett Kurtz. Elimination, process of elimination, Garrett Kurtz, something like that. Go watch the Open Secrets playlist titled Process of Elimination, Garrett Kurtz, something like that. Essential viewing if you at all care about the Delphi murders and have not yet seen it. So please do so. Woman Doing Impossible Things, thank you so much. Who else was here? Is a God Thing was here. Sunflower Soul 615 was here. Phoenix was here, obviously. He was here. Who else was here earlier? Foxy Lady, Mar R was here. I said Westy, Carol, Jamie. I Have Apophis was here. Who else was here earlier? I may have missed. Oh, thank you so much, Dick Redshirt. I see your Dick Redshirt left a super chat. We need to thank Julie Melvin as well was here. Okay, 4 Pits. Skip Jansen was in here. I might have already said his name. Ducking Felonies, Zero Cool, The Royal We. And I'm not going to go back too much further. I'm trying to kind of get in a couple hours back in the past. But yeah, everyone who was here super, super early, especially 4 Pits, he stuck it out tonight. 4 Pits, Mary Goff was here. Everyone who was here earlier, thank you so much for checking it out. Hey, look, if you're on the replay, do me a favor. Do me a favor. Do you a favor. Leave a comment in the comment section so we can interact and continue the discussion. Untamable was here. That's right. Gina Bodette, Untamable. Digital was here. I don't want to miss anybody ever. So if you want me to chime in at the bottom. Chime in real quick and I'll chime in again at the bottom and I'll put your name here. But yeah, all of you guys, thank you for being here. Hey, Roxanne. Roxanne says, good night, Fiend. Oh, we got a little love affair over here? Don't say hi, Prof, but you say hi, Fiend. Okay. Dick Redshirt, thank you very much. Okay, later, guys. Nice podcast. Thank you so much. Oh, yeah, Tracy Fleetwood. How could I forget? All right. Thank you so much, Tracy Fleetwood. True Justice was here. There you go. Yeah, so you guys are chiming in. All right, that's it. That's it, Granny D. Yeah. So thanks to all you people, commentator. All right, thank you for being here. Really appreciate it. I couldn't do it without you. You make it worth doing, because if this chat was vacant, I surely wouldn't be sitting here talking to myself. So thanks so much, chat. And like I'm saying, if you were over here on the replay crew at any point in the future, leave that comment down below and send a super thanks, a super chat, anything like that. The comment section is amazing because it keeps the talk going. More people need to see this, especially the first couple hours of the show where I'm showing you what Nick McClellan and what Judge Gold's employee and what Jerry Holman and what ISP and Doug Carter and all these people were doing. It ain't really kosher, is it? All right, Fur Baby Daddy. What up, Fur Baby Daddy? Hit that replay. Hit it, brother. All right, thank you guys and good night. No hate, only love. All right, only love. So let's hold everyone accountable, especially ourselves. So we'll see you Friday with the Mr. Joe show, if everything goes well. So hope to see you then. God bless you guys. Hug your kids, hug your wife, and take care of each other. Right? And hey, Troll Farm, I know you already got mad. You already screenshot your screenshots. You already screen recorded your little hateful clips. Troll Farm, try to resist the temptation. Okay? It's unnecessary. The fight's over. Fight's over. All right, see you guys later.
you